mortgage intact, but get the cash you need in as little as 2 weeks without paying closing costs. LoanPronto.com. See how much you can get right now. Call 919-381-1760. That's 919-381-1760. LoanPronto.com. For qualified homeowners, equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Try Angel Soft for your tushy. It's made by angels. Soft and strong, budget friendly. The choice is simple. A roll that feels like paradise, and always at a heavenly price. Angel Soft, soft and strong, so it's simple.
Pick up a pack today.
Angel Soft. Soft and strong, simple.
At the V Foundation, V is for victory over cancer. V is for victory over giving up.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Join our team in the fight against cancer at V.org.
In the military, the mission was clear. You knew what to do. Now, the mission has changed. Stepping into civilian life isn't about finding a job. It's finding your purpose.
I wanted a career that would leverage the skills and discipline I gained in the military. IT just felt right.
My Computer Career offers class schedules that fit into your life and skills in high demand. Put your VA benefits to work. Visit mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to jumpstart your IT career today. An elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Big truck accidents can cause life-changing injuries, and life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money. I know big truck wrecks, and I know how to fight those big insurance companies. If you've been hurt by a big truck, contact us at ritchielaw.com. I'm on top of it.
Broadcasting live from the Eagle Leasing Storage Studio. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Hey, it's the weather.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Busy over here at the Weather Center. Today is a WRAL Weather Alert Day. A high of 97, feeling more like up to 106, so a heat advisory in effect for most of the viewing area. Late this evening, a chance for storms, and so that also creates a weather alert day. We'll see an overnight low of 73. Tomorrow's cooler with a high of 83, but we have a good chance for rain and storms, a flooding possibility, as well as a chance for severe weather.
3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 643 points to 52,819. Market update brought to you by All-Star Dog Training. You've seen their dogs featured in college and professional sports. They can train your dog too. Visit allstardogtraining.com and schedule your free evaluation today.
Deep left corner of the end zone. Jalen Coker hauls it in for a touchdown.
Off the back iron. Wilson comes soaring in to dunk it home.
Copeland jabs on him a couple of times. Step back three-pointer, left corner, swish.
One dribble out for Boozer for three. Big time!
And the Carolina Hurricanes are the best team in the NHL. They won the 2026 Stanley Cup.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. Happy Thursday, everybody. I'm Tim Donnelly. Dennis Cox with us producing the show. It may not be real football, but we have preseason football tonight. You can hear it here on 99.9 The Fan. Vegas, Houston. Number 1 overall pick, Fernando Mendoza. 7:30 pregame, 8 o'clock start. But we have a lot to get to before we have live sports here on The Fan, including the same segment we used to start the show every day, Big 3 at 3 time.
Number 1.
Maybe Fernando Mendoza wants to play for the Carolina Tar Heels. Maybe he's actually allowed to do that. It's not as crazy as it sounds. Before we get there, though, Maynard Service Company presenting the Big 3 at 3. Heating, cooling, plumbing, electric. Whatever you need in your house, if it's not working right, Maynard Service Company. MaynardServices.com, MAYNOR services.com. I'm only kind of joking when I say maybe Maybe Fernando Mendoza wants to come join a college football team. It's only ridiculous because of the gigantic contract, number 1 overall pick sign. But how about this? Tampa Bay Buccaneers rookie Jack Pyburn recorded 2 sacks in a preseason win over the New York Jets on Friday.
It's good production.
That's identified as a Tampa Bay Buccaneers NFL team rookie. Has 2 sacks in a preseason game. That's like, hey, you might make the team.
They're putting out good tape. Let's go.
According to the Louisiana's 19th Judicial District Court, Pyburn has been granted a temporary restraining order, amongst others, which makes him eligible for a 5th year of college football. NFL players. Granted, they haven't appeared in regular season games, but players that are playing in NFL preseason games, some of them are now eligible to go back to college. I'm going to say that again, just so it settles in. Somebody that had 2 sacks in a preseason game last Friday in the NFL. He wore an NFL jersey. He played with NFL players. He tackled an NFL quarterback in the backfield. Might be in college football in 3 weeks.
What?
In addition to Pyburn, and he's not, like I said, there's 16 former college football players that were a part of the Louisiana 19th Judicial District Court decision. There's Wydett Williams Jr., who is currently a member of the Arizona Cardinals. Might be going back to Ole Miss. There is Daquan Wright, currently Cleveland Browns. Ole Miss tight end last year. Oregon State running back from a year ago, Anthony Hankerson, who's with the Seattle Seahawks. They were all on this. They might all be able to come back to college. I do not understand how the courts are inherently missing the point. And the point is, the extra 5th year was granted for, supposed to be, next year's class, like this year's class that's becoming seniors and beyond. If you want to go and grant it to the previous class, do we have to agree with it? No, but if you say it's the only thing fair under the court's fine. But why does that remove every other rule? It's always been, if you play in the professional, you can't go back and play in college. It's always been that. That's not up for debate. Now, whether the 5th year applies to them, maybe, but I don't care if you have 3 years of eligibility left. If you play in the NFL, you can't go back to college. Even if you just declared for the draft, you couldn't go back to college. Remember Maurice Clarett and Mike Williams? They said, I want to go pro. The NFL said, you can't. You need to be in college 3 years. They said, we'd like to go back to college. College said, nope. And they just didn't play for a while. No lawsuits, no courts got involved then. But at the same time, if you're a college team that your roster's looking a little rough, if you can add a couple of NFL players, might be worth looking into. Coaches, you got to win, and we're learning more and more. It's win at all costs. So, I don't know, call up the Texans, see if they have any players they're willing to loan you for a year. I don't know how that works. That was number 1. Let's get to number 2.
Number 2.
So yesterday, the formal announcement of the Tobacco Road Classic was made. The Tobacco Road Classic, UNC, NC State men's basketball will play each other in a non-conference game at the Greensboro Coliseum. That'll be on December 15th. With that was one of the last moving pieces. Today, UNC basketball put out their entire non-conference schedule. Now, obviously, there are different ways to attack a non-conference schedule. I am a fan of what I call weaponizing your schedule. Every game, there should be a specific point, right? There should be a reason why you're playing that team, when you're playing that team, where you're playing that team. Carolina is in a situation, and I think most new coaches are in this situation. They're in a situation where maybe you're not weaponizing each individual game, but you're trying to weaponize like months on the schedule. Right? So they open November 2nd, Western Carolina, November 6th, Wofford, November 10th, Wyoming, November 13th, Georgia, all of these home games. November 20th, Marshall, November 23rd, Monmouth, November 27th, West Virginia in Charlotte as part of the Dick Vitale Invitational. Everything up until West Virginia there, that's the entire month of November for their non-conference schedule. Everything up until West Virginia, individually, I'm like, okay, what is that something that's going to draw recruits' attention? Is that something that's going to build your brand? Is that something that is, doing something for your program? I don't know. But they're at the point with a new coach where I think you just want a bunch of wins early. I think you just want a bunch of positive proof that what he's asking you to do is working. So Michael Malone let's be real, that's not a daunting start to the season. Having a couple of gimmies early on, I think that was intentional. Down the road, if and when Michael Malone gets the program rolling kind of with momentum, then perhaps you want to start thinking, hey, let's get a premier venue against a premier team to build our net ranking and our reputation. Let's get to a premier venue so it's something we can sell recruits on. You're going to play at this cool place, or you're going to play at this cool tournament or whatever it is. But for now, if you are the University of North Carolina, and they are, a lot of those games should be assumed wins. And they should be assumed wins where you can have some scheme adjustments, right? You can have some jitters, you can get used to each other and still win those games. Now you move on from the November, December 1st, part of the ACC-SEC Challenge. They will be hosting in ESPN's Way Too Early Top 25, the 10th best team in the country in Arkansas. December 6th, Butler. December 12th. As far as I'm concerned, this is the only road game in their non-conference schedule. They have some neutrals, but at Georgia, December 12th. I already talked about it. The Tobacco Road Classic in Greensboro against State, December 15th. December 19th, Kentucky. That's the 19th best team in the ESPN Way Too Early Top 25. That'll be played in New York City, CBS Sports Classic. The Citadel, right before Christmas, December 21st. And then January 30th, Illinois, in what they're calling the Nashville Hoops Showdown. Obviously in Nashville. Illinois is number 3 in the Way Too Early Top 25. The reason why I point out the Way Too Early Top 25 is 2 of their last 3 non-conference games are against top 20 teams in the Way Too Early Top 25. I think that's the intentional part, right? Give you some time to get used to Michael Malone, for him to get used to college, for everybody to get used to each other, and then throw your biggest challenges at the end of your non-conference schedule. And also, then you're into the ACC schedule, and we know how much of a meat grinder that can be. And you're going to play Duke twice, and you're going to have to face Louisville and Virginia and all these schools that are definitely going to be tough challenges. So I like the non-conference schedule. I think there's more room for utilizing it future years. But for right now, solid first year with a purpose. That's number 2. Let's get to number 3.
Number 3.
Second round of the FedEx Cup playoffs on the PGA Tour going on in St. Louis as we speak. How about Gary Woodland? Gary Woodland running out to the solo first. If you don't know Gary Woodland, he is one of the nicest guys on tour, and he's gone through some really tough stuff medically. Had some brain surgeries he had to take care of, and he's kind of putting it back together a little bit as far as his golf game. He's solo first right now out there at the BMW Championship. Local guys, Alex Fitzpatrick played his college golf at Wake Forest. He's in a tie for 6th right now, 3 under par, 3 strokes off the lead of Woodland. Ben Griffin, Alex Smalley, Ryan Gerard. Griffin and Gerard played at UNC, and Smalley played at Duke. They're tied for 13th, 2 under par. Michael Brennan, JT Poston, Wake Forest and Western Carolina is where they played their college golf. They're both tied for 23rd, 1 under par. Cameron Young, who is the best player amongst the ones that we've mentioned here this year. He's been struggling the most as of late, and he's 2 over par through 15. He played at Wake Forest as well, tied for 46th. He's got to get things going. For a lot of these guys, obviously you want to win, right? Like, let's put that on its own spot. Go win the tournament. But there's 50 that have made this leg of the postseason. The top 30 in FedEx Cup points advance to the next leg, and that's the Tour Championship. And that is a status thing. It is a money thing. It is a gives you a little bit more status for next year on tour thing. So what it really comes down to is, can you make it into the top 30? And some of the guys like JT Poston, for example, he's sitting at 31 if it ended right now. He has to get into the top 30. So a little bit of a run, a little bit of a move. You can punch your ticket to next week. We'll monitor it as the day and as the week goes along. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That is the Big Three at 3, presented by Maynor Service Company, MAYNOR Services.com. Up next, are there really NFL players that are going to college? NFL players. Yeah, next.
Is your heating and air system ready for the warmer weather? Call Newcomb & Company to ensure your system is running at peak performance. As a Comfort Contract customer, you'll get priority service and a 15% discount on all HVAC and plumbing service calls and repairs. Newcomb & Company, your Carrier Factory Authorized dealer, has proudly served our community for more than 70 years, delivering reliable comfort and peace of mind. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company, your comfort is our business.
Hello, I'm John Heister for the Heister Automotive Group. And we're constantly looking for ways to serve you better. One of the ways we do that is with something we call a Go-See. And that's where you select a vehicle from our inventory, and we have thousands, and we get one of our product specialists to bring that vehicle to you at your convenience. How do we do that? Well, it's simple. We have a group of employees that are evaluated based on the number of presentations they do. They're glad to do it. So it's just one more way we get off our keister and bring Heister to you.
With over $110 million in total prizes, new scratch-offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery are dazzling the crowd. Get quick wins from Hit 50, Cash, Loteria Grande, and The Star. Massive cash blowout, bursting with $150, $300, and $3,000 prizes. Play and watch your luck shine. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds to win range from 1 in 3.86 to 9.37. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Nothing beats a fairway green lawn. Now's the time to seed your fescue lawn. A lot of people think it's springtime, but that's incorrect. You got to get out there and do a core aeration seeding, put down the proper fertilizer at that time. And if you have a warm season lawn, now's an excellent time to start controlling winter annual weeds like poana. And of course, broadleaf weeds never stop, no matter what turf you have. So it's always a good time to apply the proper broadleaf weed control and your fertilizers. 919-329-0095. Visit fairwaygreen.com and go ahead and request a free lawn analysis. We'll be out within a few days and leave a very detailed lawn analysis in the door. Nothing beats a fairway green lawn.
Bailey left hashes, takes the snap. It's a drop back, dump off, end zone touchdown. Justin Jolie leaks out after the snap, and he catches it with two hands near side of the right end zone, and the Packs on the board. 14-6, 5-yard touchdown on 4th and 1 with 2:35 to play in the first quarter here in Winston-Salem.
This is The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. So I mentioned it earlier. Later tonight on ESPN Radio and on 99.9 The Fan as well, there's going to be preseason NFL football. Right here, 7:30 pregame, 8 o'clock coverage of the Las Vegas Raiders and the Houston Texans. Do you think like Dave Doran, Bill Belichick, Jake Dickert, Manny Diaz are going to be watching tonight and kind of looking around to see, hey, we got a hole at outside linebacker. Maybe we could snag one off the Texans. Let's see. Right in the fourth quarter, those guys aren't going to make the team. They might be looking for somewhere to play next week. Maybe we could use them on our ACC football roster. Oh, and by the way, they'll have been practicing with like Will Anderson, so they can bring all of the knowledge of playing for DeMeco Ryans right back down to us. It's not that crazy. Pete Thamel, ESPN Radio, he tweeted this out earlier today. And this is obviously in response to what we were talking about earlier, where a Louisiana judicial district court has granted a temporary restraining order that will allow more than 30 college athletes a fifth year of eligibility, including 16 former college football players, including a handful who are currently signed to NFL training camp rosters. Jack Pyburn's the one that's being referenced the most because he had 2 sacks in an NFL preseason game for the Bucs against the Jets on Friday. So literally, a college football program could have been watching a preseason game and said, hey, who's that Pyburn guy? He's getting after the quarterback, and they might be able to go get that player. Pete Thamel tweeted this out. A Power 4 personnel executive, so a college scout, summed up the surreal scene in wake of the Louisiana state ruling yesterday. Here's the quote. Pretty hilarious. We are now cutting up NFL preseason games for late roster ads. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. It is absolutely insane. For more details and more reactions, here's Adam Schefter, who is obviously an ESPN NFL insider on players potentially going back to college.
So you're talking about the prospect of multiple players who don't make it on the NFL rosters, then having the option, potentially, of going back to play in college football. And then there'll be cases where even a player who has the chance to join a NFL practice squad or even an active roster at the veteran minimum might opt to go back to college football. So college football programs now, as Pete Thamel alluded to, are actually looking at NFL teams and studying preseason tape to figure out how they might round out their roster. And if they're bringing in NFL players on September 1st, then that means they're cutting some players from their college programs. And we are living in an unprecedented Wild West world where it's gotten crazier and crazier. And this may be the single craziest moment that we've seen yet.
Jack Pyburn, by the way, none of it, or let me be clear, very little of it guaranteed. 100, very is the wrong word. 115,000 of his contract is guaranteed. But he is on a 3-year, $3.1 million contract with the Bucs. And it's crazy to think he might be able to make better money in college. He might be able to make better money playing in college. He might look at 3 years, $3 million and go, yeah, I'm gonna go back and grab 1.5 or $2 million from a college team. Pete Thamel, who we just alluded to, has been on top of this story, also spoke on ESPN with Mike Greenberg about what to look out for regarding eligibility.
The big thing to watch this week, Greeny, is going to be an appellate court's ruling in Colorado. Judge Sweeney in a district court in Colorado basically had given a blanket ruling to allow fourth-year guys their fifth year. That is now that is going to go to the appellate court. Probably we're going to get a ruling today. In theory, and Dan Murphy gave me this number this morning, that could allow hundreds of players to sort of follow the paths of these guys. It wouldn't just be a narrow state order. It would be more of a class situation. So we are on the precipice, depending on a judge's ruling this week, of the floodgates being opened and at least dozens and dozens of more players who fit into this class coming potentially back from the fringes of NFL training camps to college football.
Do you know what scares me the most about this? Is the precedent. Because once a player plays in preseason for the NFL and goes back to college, what's stopping a player from declaring early for the draft after their redshirt sophomore year, getting drafted late or getting undrafted, going through the entire offseason, and then deciding to go back to college mid-preseason?
Yeah.
Like, it's already happened once, right? Like, he did it. Why can't I do it?
It's like, yeah, I'm probably not going to make the roster or be a practice squad guy. Let me just go back to college. Make that money.
Yeah, or maybe even an NFL team saying, hey, you're not going to make the roster this year, but we're going to have some guys coming off the books next year. We really like you. We don't want you to go play somewhere else in the NFL. Go back to college, make $2 million. We'll have a deal waiting for you next season. Like there's the once you open that can of worms, you're not putting those worms back in the can. And I have said this once, I will say this 1,000 times. One of the very, very much taken for granted best things about college sports is eligibility. It is finite, right? Like pros, you might play forever. At least that's the thought, right? You're invincible. You can be around you could be Tom Brady playing into your 40s. In college, I don't care if you're the best player or the worst player. The moment you get to college, there is a clock that is ticking in the corner, and if you don't get it done, you won't get it done. Right? There's no ring chasing at the end of your career where you're like, I'm just going to hang on for another couple years and try to coattails my way to a championship. It's like you are either winning it, you are either making your memories, you are either getting your accolades in your 4 or 5 years, or you're not. And it drums up emotion. Right? Like a 23-year-old, a 22-year-old is not expecting lifelong dreams to be done, right? That, like, you're still a very young person in life, but your college sports dreams are done at that age. Senior days, teary-eyed, right? Well, I'm going to go pro, but I might be back. It's not the same. You know, if I can work my way up onto the 2 deep, I'll stay. But if not, yeah, I'll be back here next year, guys. It's not the same. It's not right. From the very beginning, the thing I'm most worried about is somehow some court saying it's unconstitutional or it's not enforceable that you can have limited eligibility, right? You're like you're limiting their ability to make a living or why can't they continue going to school and getting graduate degrees? Like if it becomes truly like, you know, if you're a better fit for college football than pro, you can just stay forever. Like if Tim Tebow could just make $10 million a year at Florida for 15 years because his game didn't translate to the NFL, I think that's where you really lose college football. Maybe college sports, but you really lose college football. Every change that has happened, I have said, like, how does it change my Saturdays? Does it make it the same? Does it make it different? Right? Players getting paid. Does it make it less entertaining for you that he goes back in a nicer car to a nicer apartment after the game? No, I don't think any of that changes our Saturdays. But if you take away eligibility, I think it does. I mean, these guys are in the NFL. Some of them are making plays in NFL preseason games.
It's mind-blowing to me that someone that signs a professional contract, you're a pro now. Go make it work.
$115,000 guaranteed.
Yeah, you're a pro now. Go make it work. Don't I'll just go back to college because I failed at being a pro. I also wonder this as well, Tim. Do these guys go back into the NFL draft? If they go back to college, do they go back into the NFL draft, or are they just free agents? Because now you can skip the line and say, wow, this guy's actual stud. Now there's a bidding war for me that other guys that get drafted can't do. Like, so what does it become? There's a slippery slope with that too.
We've recently had a lot of like top picks break out kind of out of nowhere in their last year of college.
Yeah.
So you could go from like an undrafted fringe roster player if you handle yourself correctly this year. You could be, I mean, let alone a first round pick, a third round pick. And if you can get a third round pick without using a third round pick, that's valuable.
Yeah.
It makes very little sense to me that we've gotten here.
I also wonder as well, what does the NFL Players Association say about those kinds of things? Like these players in this potential instance, if these guys do elect to go back to college, because again, there's also the possibility that none of these guys actually go back to college.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a real possibility of that, and then this conversation's all for nothing. But what does the NFL Players Association have to say? Also, what do NFL teams have to say? It's like, hey, no, look, like you're under contract here. Like, you can't just elect to go back. Like, we got you on our 53-man roster. You can't breach contract, and go back to college.
The reason why I think at least 1 or 2 or 3 of these guys will go back to college is because they're worth more to college. Like, they are much better relative to college than they are relative to the NFL. As soon as this ruling was made, I guarantee you, if they have agents or if they have a public phone number, college coaches were hitting them up because they'll be an impact playmaker in college. And impact playmakers are worth a lot in college. They won't be that in the NFL.
Is it tampering? Are you tampering with an NFL team?
Well, I just would it be collusion for the NFL to tell college football not to? Like, I don't know how any of that works.
Yeah,
it's I don't know how we've gotten here. I don't know how we've gotten here. Can I just talk to the judge? Can I approach the bench? Can I just say, hey, listen, I'm not no lawyer, no law degree. I just got some common sense I want to feed you here, and you could really help us out just by, pretending like this one didn't come across your desk. Just signing it and stays as is and move on. Going to Louisiana to plead my case. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, Tim Donnelly here for Kalshi. You can probably trade on whether NFL players will be able to play in college. Who knows? But before the season, all of the traditional prediction markets are out there. Who's going to win the division? Who's going to make the playoffs? Who's going to win the end-of-season awards? Who's going to win the championship? On Kalshi, which is America's #1 prediction market platform, you can trade on those predictions in a live market as well as so many other predictions. How about this one, everybody? NFC Championship. Do you think Carolina has it in them? Do you think they can win the conference? Right now they're trading at about 2% to win the whole darn NFC, which I can tell you right now, if you trade $100 on Carolina to win the NFC Championship, and it happens, it would pay out just under $4,700. It's a lot of money. And as I often remind you, you're trading against peers in a live market on Kalshi, meaning there's no house. And as the probability changes, you can buy in and out of your position. Trade the draft pick, the game, and more on Kalshi. What that means is if you're trading on Carolina to win the NFC and they start off hot, but you're watching them and you're like, I don't know if they're actually that good, but their record says they are, and the probability goes up, you can trade out of that right then and there, take your profits, and go trade on something else. KALSHI, Kalshi, trade on anything. And download right now the Kalshi app and use code TIMD, that's TIMD, to get up to $500 in bonus credits when you trade $25. 18 plus only. Restriction and eligibility requirements apply. Van contract trading involves risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Kalshi products are not available in all jurisdictions. Prices, values, and available markets may differ from those mentioned. For more information, see kalshi.com/regulatory gambling problem. Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. We'll be back right here on The Drive with, let's see what we got here. Little Dean's List action coming your way. Stick around.
You put sunscreen on when you go out in the sun. Did you know that the sun could hurt your car, too? It's true. Keep cool this summer and protect the interior from fading and cracking with a custom window tint from Soundstation and Security. The sun's harmful UV rays can also hurt your paint on the exterior. That's why Soundstation and Security offers custom ceramic coating. Think of it as a little sunscreen with Soundstation and Security. 2 locations in downtown Smithfield and on Glenwood Avenue in Raleigh. Online at myhotsound.com.
Worried about car repair costs? Relax. Meineke has you covered with flexible financing solutions customized especially for you. For tires, brakes, engine repairs, and more, you can trust Meineke to get you safely back on the road now and in the future with multiple payment solutions available. No worries. Meineke will make it easy for you. Each Meineke is independently owned and operated. Schedule an appointment today by visiting Meineke.com. Trust your key with Meineke. Meineke, doing car care right.
You've got rhythm, your heart's got rhythm. Then one day your rhythm's off, and you've got AFib, atrial fibrillation. The good news is you've also got an AFib center, where specialists in AFib have multiple treatment options for you. Want more good news? Most of them are minimally invasive. Learn more at wakemed.org. And what do you say you and your heart get the band back together? In the military, the mission was clear. You knew what to do. Now, the mission has changed. Stepping into civilian life isn't about finding a job. It's finding your purpose.
I wanted a career that would leverage the skills and discipline I gained in the military. IT just felt right.
My Computer Career offers class schedules that fit into your life and skills in high demand. Put your VA benefits to work. Visit mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to jumpstart your IT career today. An Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
This hour of The Drive brought to you by All-Star Dog Training. You've seen their dogs featured in college and professional sports. They can train your dog, too. Visit allstardogtraining.com and schedule your free evaluation today.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Little Friday vibes. I like this. Or Thursday vibes.
Well, Friday vibes on a Thursday? All right.
All right, Friday vibes. I'll take that.
If we got a 3-day weekend, sure.
There's football tonight. It's like the weekend. How about that?
Well, there's a lot of high school football that's got moved to today, so you know what?
Actually,
Friday Night Lights on a Thursday. Makes
Friday
sense.
Night Lights and Friday Night Vibes on a Thursday. And some of those games are still struggling to find windows to play, correct?
Yeah, check out highschoolot.com. They have all the updates in terms of times, but I know the storms that kind of came through the area here, the Triangle, and obviously they get down to Fayetteville and stuff. I know some storms are even maybe a little bit worse, but I feel like the games that were scheduled to play today should be good to go, I think, but don't quote me on that. I know some games are even now getting moved to Saturday. It's weird.
Got to be flexible. Control what you can control. Friday Night Lights on a Thursday, Friday Night Lights on a Saturday. It's all good. There was one time in high school we were supposed to play an away game, and they had a water main break in the middle of their field, so it was underwater. And we pushed it to Monday, which out at our place. So we had 2 homecoming games. Homecoming week, we started on a Monday with a game, and then we had one on Friday with a game. It was awesome, and they were both home, and they just leaned into it. It was a really funny homecoming week for us. With that being said, let's go one level up and highlight those in the college sports world with the Dean's List. All right, the way this works, we just give a few extra accolades to those that deserve it in the college sports world. And we have a few auto entries. You make a awards watch list, you make a preseason watch list, you're automatically on the Dean's List. So we'll throw C.J. Bailey Jr., quarterback NC State. He's been on a bunch of times because he's on a bunch of watch lists. But the Davey O'Brien Award put out their watch list today. There were 4 quarterbacks from the ACC, just the one from the state of North Carolina, C.J. Bailey. NC State quarterback on the Davey O'Brien. Goes to the quarterback of the year, best quarterback in the country. So he's on the watch list preseason. More auto entries. The Senior Bowl, which is one of the top postseason all-star games for college football, put out their top 300. These are the players that are most on their radar. If you read the description for the Senior Bowl, they're trying really hard and do a pretty good job of aligning their watch lists and everything with what NFL scouts are thinking. So it might not be the best college players. It's the ones that show the best potential for the next level. And they are also players that are either eligible to graduate this year or are seniors and they're exhausting their eligibility. So underclassmen and things aren't on here. But Duke linebacker Nick Morris Jr. made the list. Duke tight end Jeremiah Hazley made the list. I talked to him at UNC ACC kickoff. UNC defensive lineman Melkart Abu-Jaude made the list. NC State's offensive lineman Teague Anderson made the list. And Wake Forest defensive back Devon Patterson made the list. Those are the teams that we covered, their representation on the Senior Bowl top 300. Dennis, do you have a Dean's List you would like to toss in there?
Can't say I do. I just had the preseason award watch list. Though I do know that, again, ACC soccer is supposed to start today, but I don't know with whether if games got moved or not. NC State trying to get back to the national title game on the men's side.
Could be exciting. I'm putting Duke basketball, Duke men's basketball. Joe Lunardi, that guy doesn't sleep. He's doing bracketology. And after the most recent fifth-year eligible, guys joining teams and everything, he shuffled up his bracketology predictions, and he moved Duke to the top overall seed in the updated bracketology.
Wait a second. So he moved them up even though Duke didn't add anybody?
Because teams that they're playing added, so he thought that their strength of schedule would go up.
Ah, okay.
So it must have been, Florida was the only team above them. They were number 2. It must have been that close, just razor thin. And, UNC adds that big guy from like North Dakota or whatever and say, oh, that's going to be a bigger win now, or a better opponent, I should say, for Duke. That's going to boost them to the number 1 overall seed or whatever it was. So
NC State adding Van Allen Lubin back
makes it a more difficult ACC schedule.
Okay. Hey, got to play Seth Trumbull, Louisville.
Twice, right? No.
I think it's just one time, Duke Louisville.
Who are they playing? Who's their other? It's either Louisville or Virginia. Either way.
I think it's Virginia for Duke this year. I'll have to look.
Either way, Joe Lunardi doesn't sleep. He thinks bracketology during preseason football time. Last one here. I'm putting UNC and NC State basketball on the Dean's list.
Okay.
The Tobacco Road Classic deserves more than one day of praise. Like, good on you. Claps. But also, yesterday I said I was just going to, 24-hour celebration rule. I was just going to celebrate that UNC and NC State. You'll see why I just Freudian slipped Duke there in a second. UNC and NC State. I love that they looked at their schedules and said the conference isn't going to make us play twice. Let's do the common sense thing, give the fans what they want. Let's play a non-conference game between us. And I celebrated that for 24 hours. Now we can get greedy. Make it the Big Four.
Yes.
Make it the Big Four. Or how about this, Dennis? Make it the Dixie Classic. So I did some research here.
Yeah.
The Big Four played from 1971 to 1981, and it was a 2-day tournament. Duke, Wake Forest, also the two teams we're discussing, UNC and NC State. So they would play day one, and then the winners of that would play day two, and the losers of that would play day two. A little 4-game, 2-day deal. The Dixie Classic, which was seen as like a spiritual predecessor of the Big Four, was played from 1949 to 1960. And all of those 4 teams I mentioned had to bring a friend. So it was 3 days. All 4 of the teams from North Carolina played a team from not North Carolina on day one. And you had to win to advance, and losers moved into a loser's bracket to get their games.
Oh, okay. Kind of like Maui Invitational style.
Except the 4.
Yeah.
And you know what I loved about it? So 49 to 60, over a decade. A team from outside the state of North Carolina never won the Classic. It was always defended by one of the teams from the state of North Carolina.
As it should be.
But the reason why I bring that up, the reason why I throw that out there is it gives you an opportunity for true non-conference wins. It gives, if the ACC wants to make sure their winning percentage stays high, you can bring in other teams that you can beat, right? So, or raise your net ranking by playing some of the best teams in other conferences and not just kind of beating each other up and then being a wash for the ACC. And I think it could sell a little bit better, right? If you get the 4 teams from the state of North Carolina and 4 other premier teams that we don't see match up often, could be electric. The Dixie Classic is what it was known as.
Oh, yeah.
49 to 60.
I actually, through kind of on scratch on a piece of paper, I did this about a year and a half or so ago, maybe a year, where you do a version of an in-season tournament for the mid-major schools in the state of North Carolina. So no state, Duke, Carolina, or Wake. But you're talking Davidson, Queens, Charlotte, App, Wilmington, and it's basically a little mini, you break it into regions of the state, and they do basically the winner of each group kind of do a little 2-day thing at the end. I've the concepts of a plan here of a little in-season tournament for the mid-majors in the state.
Basically,
I want to make it happen.
Never has it been more important to give the fans a little bit of what they want because that's how you get the most money from the fans. It's very important. So with that being said, let's go ahead and dismiss. Give you something to think on. And I'll give you something else to think on. Tim Donnelly here from Maynard Service Company. Heating systems, cooling systems, plumbing, electric work. Maynard Service Company does it all. And they're experts at it. Okay? Their technicians are constantly being trained on the latest technology. You may be like, technology? We're talking heating, cooling, plumbing, electric. I've been to the Maynard Service Company warehouse. The training that is going on, they have a hot water heater spliced down the middle. And I tell you, it looks like a tank for about half. That makes a lot of sense to me. The rest looks like a computer. It has chips and boards and wires. You have to be trained on the latest technology in order to be able to walk into a new house particularly and handle everything you need to handle for heating, cooling, plumbing, electrical work. Maynard Service Company constantly making sure they are up to date on the latest and retroactively making sure they are as well trained as they can be, going back decades of technology, because if it's not broke, don't fix it, right? Some of us still have some appliances and things from a while ago. They have to be able to fix those as well. So Maynard Service Company, if anything's going on with your heating, cooling, plumbing, or electric work, give them a call. 919-361-0993. That's 919-361-0993. Or visit them online at MaynorServices.com. That's MAYNOR Services.com. When we come back, UNC non-conference schedule has been released. Do we like it? I think we do. Stick around.
Organize easy. Organize tough. Customize your work truck or van with upfit solutions from Van Products. Steel and aluminum shelving, toolboxes, data files, cabinets, drawers, conduit carriers, ladder racks, everything safe and secure. Everything built as unbreakable as you by Adrian Steel. Backed by the best warranty in the business. 3 years, 36,000 miles. Everything custom installed by Van Products so you know it's done right. From a single work rig to a fleet, choose custom installed upfit solutions from Van Products.
Football season is back, and there's no better place to watch it than the Dugout Tavern and Grill in Apex. College football Saturdays bring $4 hard seltzers and $3.75 Miller Lite pints. Then it's NFL Sundays with $1 off New Belgium pints all season. Pick all the winners of the 1 o'clock games, and you could score a New Belgium prize pack and a Dugout gift card. Brunch starts at 10 a.m. all weekend. After the game, check out the brand new dart area and join a team. Dugout Tavern and Grill in Apex is your football headquarters.
You could argue that making jewelry by hand is yesterday's way of doing it. You could claim that being particular about custom design and old-world craftsmanship slows down the process. You could call us old-fashioned, and you'd be right. Because the heart and soul of Bailey's is our workshop, where skilled craftsmen create heirlooms meant to last for generations. Come see why we've been voted the best jeweler year after year. Bailey's Fine Jewelry. Every woman wants a Bailey box.
Carolina football tickets are on sale now. The 2026 schedule is loaded with great games against Notre Dame, Syracuse, Miami, Louisville, NC State, and the home opener against East Tennessee State on September 12th. Experience Chapel Hill on game days, including the Chapel Thrill Concert Series. This year's pregame performers include Chase Rice, Neon Trees, Waka Flocka, and Shaquille O'Neal. Don't miss out on the 100th season of Carolina football in Kenan Stadium. To order your 2026 Carolina football tickets now, visit GoHeels.com.
This is The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. By the way, did you see, you just heard the ad talking about all the pre-game performances for the Carolina Tar Heels football schedule? Chapel Thrill, I believe they call them. Did you see they started the trend with DJ Diesel, the big Shaq Diesel?
Yeah.
He's now performing before a UVA game next year as well.
Oh, go figure.
So, you know, you just see Virginia, like, scrolling through social media. They see Shaq's going to be performing before a UNC game. They're like, we're allowed to do that? Get the Shaq Diesel on the phone.
Hey, Western Kentucky did it first.
That's true.
The Hilltoppers.
I mean, everything in college sports starts with the Hilltoppers. Some offensive schemes. Not a joke. They're passing offense a couple of years. The Bailey Zappi years.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of stolen plays from that group that are in playbooks all over the country. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. UNC basketball revealed their entire non-conference schedule. And this is one of those things that, for Michael Malone, it's the moon, right? It's like life on Mars. It's completely foreign to him. And when you're coaching in the NBA, guess how much input you have on the schedule? You complain about back-to-backs. That's about all you got. Like, there's the NBA tells you when you're playing, where you're playing, who you're playing. Are you on national television? Are you not on national television? Do you play on holidays? Do you not play on holidays? How often you're allowed to sit your star players? Like, they tell you everything. College, they show up and they go, all right, let's make the schedule. What? I'm sorry. How? What'd you say? Let's make the schedule?
Yeah, here are your ACC games. The rest, you figure it out.
Yeah, here the time of year. The month of November is yours. Go ahead. What would you like to do with it? That's why I think though there are parts of the transition for even an elite professional level coach when they come to college, they need to have the GMs, the assistant coaches, the support staff that have the experience in college. Right? Because coaches sometimes get caught in the cliche. Line up the most iron sharpens iron. We want to play every top 25 team. We'll play them anywhere, and you name the time, you name the place, we'll come play. And you end up playing like at Kansas, at Illinois, at Michigan. And it's like, wait a second, coach. Your first month, you may want to ease into it, right? You may not want to go off the deep end. You might want to take the stairs into the pool, acclimatize as you go down into the ACC waters towards the middle part of the season. And that's what UNC's doing. Whoever had the ear of Michael Malone said, slowly, let's chill out here a little bit. Start with Western Carolina and then Wofford and then Wyoming before you ever get to a power conference team. Then Georgia, then Marshall, Monmouth, all of this like every couple days in November, right? You want 4 days between them, 3-5 days a week between these games. So you have a real time to make adjustments and work with your team on the things you liked and didn't like. It is I would not say box office, to use a Stephen A. Smith term. It is not a box office November for UNC. But what it is a real learning ground for UNC. When you put together a roster kind of on the fly and you have a lot of guys coming from a lot of different places and you're trying to build a team with a coach that's never coached in college before, I think it's a smart November move in their non-conference schedule. There's a kind of a special game, like a whatever, made-for-TV game, the Dick Vitale Invitational, and it's in your home state, and you can play West Virginia right at the end of November. I like that. Charlotte, West Virginia, meaning in Charlotte, they play West Virginia November 27th. That's, I think, a really smart game. Do you know why? Because the only non-conference game that they really don't have any say in is the ACC-SEC Challenge, and they're taking on one of the top 10 teams in the country, expected to be, December 1st. And I don't know if you want to go from like mid-major, at home. Here's Arkansas. So going mid-major, at home, West Virginia on a neutral court, then Arkansas. Again, it's there's a lot that I think was made kind of intentionally making their non-conference schedule a build up, a slow rise, where you might see some teams that are a little bit more established. You might see some teams that have a coach who's more entrenched. Maybe go like, no, let's make sure we're a premier game earlier on. Let's make sure we can get a real feel for how we play in big games early on. So let's get a neutral court made for television against a top 10 team right out the gate. I don't think that's smart for UNC, and that's not what they did. Once you get into December, I mentioned the Arkansas game. Then they play Butler at home, Georgetown on the road. These are all mid to early December. NC State, Tobacco Road Classic. Love that they did that. Greensboro, December 15th. They play Kentucky, another top 20 team expected. That's going to be in New York City, December 19th. Right before Christmas, the Citadel, December 21st. And then their last non-conference game is more than a month later. It's against Illinois in the Nashville Hoops Showdown in Nashville, January 30th. That is, mixed in with the ACC schedule from Kentucky, December 19th on, including the Nashville game against Illinois. Then you're in the thick of it, right? You can't, if you're going to be at North Carolina, you can't slow ramp the whole time, right? At a certain point, you're going to have to turn the difficulty on high and play basketball. And basically from Christmas on, that's what they're doing. So I like it. I don't think this is what their schedule is going to look like next year or beyond. I think Michael Malone more more kind of established or settled. That's what I'm looking for. More settled in, is going to be willing to take a few more chances earlier, is going to want to seek out those big games and go test themselves against the best earlier. But for his first year with so many new faces, with so much new everything, I think it's a pretty solid non-conference schedule for UNC. And I think it's an acknowledgement that there's no formula for non-conference schedules. Right? Like if Duke with John Shire in year 5, whatever it is, coming off a team that was the number 1 overall seed and returning a good amount and having the recruiting class they had, if they had this schedule, I would not like it. They need to be out there playing whatever they're playing, like the 2, 3, 5, 9, 12, and 18th best team in the way too early top 25. But that's not what Carolina should be doing. Right? Just like you have to coach every kid differently, you have to schedule every team differently.
I think for Michael Malone, these early November games that he's going to have, like you mentioned, Wofford, Wyoming, Western Carolina, it allows him to kind of adjust to the flow of the college game, just in terms of even just like an X's and O's standpoint, from the sense of shot clocks are a little bit longer, halves are shorter, not quarters. You have less timeouts to use. You can't advance the ball if you get a rebound, blow a quick timeout. Can't advance the ball to the front court. So there's just some little X's and O's, actual like in the game coaching stuff he's going to have to adjust to. And I think a lot of those situations, like I said, when you're playing Western Carolina, Wofford, and Wyoming to start the year, they're much more low stakes. So, hey, you know what? I made a mistake in this regard. It's not going to backfire against me because we should be more talented than these other teams. It allows them to ease into it these first basically 6 games of the year.
It's a great point to bring up that there's also, I talk a lot about the social that he has to learn, how it's different communicating to a 19-year-old versus a 27-year-old.
Yeah.
How it's different communicating to or the schedule being shorter, right? You can kind of go, well, we're going to give this 2 or 3 games in the NBA. Well, let's give it 2 or 3 weeks because we have 82 games. Like college, you got to make decisions a little bit faster because the end of the season comes up quicker. I talk a lot about that, but there's also like, how do you want to use your timeouts is different.
Yeah, because you have the user to lose a timeout in the first half.
How you want to manage foul trouble is different.
Yeah.
Like there's just a lot of technical differences that he's going to have to get used to. So, like I said, in the future, I will expect and I will hope that Carolina is more aggressive in their non-conference schedule. But for this year, I think it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
They got to learn about each other and just the games quite a bit.
Now, I know they have preseason games. I know they have USC is coming into town. I can't remember who their other ones are against.
Some bigger, I guess, exhibitions or preseason games, which I also think help them kind of get to know, who and what they are, maybe ahead of everything. Let me bring them up real quick.
They play
here.
USC and Charlotte. They actually go to Indianapolis and play Indiana.
Yep.
So they're both technically neutral sites. And then they're actually home against Charlotte and our good friend Wes Miller, former UNC basketball player.
Yeah, so I think they'll learn some things about themselves there. Obviously, those aren't just like we're watching in the NFL, right? It's more about the eye test than it is like final scores and things. But then they'll know what they have to work on for that first month in the season. And also, yes, they should be able to just out-talent a lot of the teams in the first month of the season because, as new as they are together, they're still Carolina Tar Heel recruits. Like, don't get it twisted and bring in scrubs.
It's still UNC.
Yeah, it's still UNC. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Let's take a break. When we come back, football at 4, focused on an absolute star.
The Jonas Brothers are running it back. Relive the Burning Up Tour and celebrate the biggest Jonas Brother hits that have defined a generation. One incredible celebration. One unforgettable night. See the Jonas Brothers live at Lenovo Center, Raleigh, October 1st. Get tickets this Friday at 10 a.m. at livenation.com. Jonas Brothers, the Burn It Up Tour, all over again.
Is your heating and air system ready for the warmer weather? Call Newcomb & Company to ensure your system is running at peak performance. As a Comfort Contract customer, you'll get priority service and a 15% discount on all HVAC and plumbing service calls and repairs. Newcomb & Company, your Carrier Factory Authorized dealer, has proudly served our community for more than 70 years, delivering reliable comfort and peace of mind. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company. Your comfort is our business.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. John's day is off to a slow start. So he heads to AutoZone, where he can get a battery for under $100. Lonnie, a local AutoZoner, tests his battery for free. Looks like he just needs a charge. And Lonnie does that for free too. In no time at all, John is back on the road. Ready to finish the day strong. Free battery testing and charging at every store. No hassles, just help. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Restrictions apply.
Wait, everything on this IHOP value menu is just $6?
I told you it was amazing. A huge plate of pancakes, bacon, and eggs is just $6.
Wow.
There's also French toast, a ham and cheese omelet, and oh, they got a BLT and fries now.
Okay, we're coming here every day.
You don't have to tell me twice.
Feast for just $6 with the IHOP value menu. $7 in some locations, available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it.
That one back, that one going, gone!
Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Eagle Leasing Storage Studio. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Hey, it's the weather. I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Busy over here in the Weather Center. Today is a WRAL Weather Alert Day. A high of 97, but feeling more like up to 106. So a heat advisory in effect for most of the viewing area. Late this evening, a chance for storms. And so that also creates a weather alert day. We'll see an overnight low of 73. Tomorrow's cooler with a high of 83, but we have a good chance for rain and storms, a flooding possibility, as well as a chance for severe weather.
Weather update brought to you by All-Star Dog Training. You've seen their dogs featured in college and professional sports. They can train your dog too. Visit allstardogtraining.com and schedule your free evaluation today. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 684 points to 52,778.
Let's move the chains. Time for football at 4.
That's right. As I've said, it's Friday vibes on a Thursday. And with that comes Friday vibes for a football at 4. Football at 4 is brought to you by John Heister, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington. Get off your keister and come to Heister. And high school sports fans out there, go to High School OT to check out any changes in schedule due to weather for high school football. Don't want anybody showing up to the field to watch a game and it's not going on. So highschoolot.com for all of that. Football at 4. I want to talk about Tetairoa McMillan. Yesterday was a real unanimous positive day for Tetairoa McMillan. And I said yesterday on the show that I was doing some double secret agenting. I do this before most Panther games, for those of you that don't know. I'll go wander into Twitter of the other team, of the opponent, and see what they're saying about the Panthers. And then after the game, I'll go into their Twitter, right? Maybe search a hashtag or two. I might, for those of you that don't know, this is a way to game your timeline. If you copy the link on Twitter to a tweet, somehow Twitter knows and goes, oh, you like that? I'll bring you way more of that. So I might go copy the link. I don't even have to send it anywhere. Just hit Control-C on a insider's report on the Jaguars. And guess what? Suddenly you'll have a ton of Jacksonville Jaguars stuff coming through your timeline. So I did some of that. And what I thought was interesting is both sides of the joint practices yesterday saw the same thing. Right, because obviously I follow all the Panthers beat writers, friends of the show, the people that we read about every single week, read their articles every single week, and the Panthers writers were very much like Panthers started slow, talking about the offense, and then Tetairoa McMillan made some plays and it kind of changed everything, and the plays were impressive and they were tough catches, and he was demonstrative after making those catches, and it was a vibe changer. Now, the reason why I do my double secret agenting and go check out what the other beat reporters are saying is because sometimes, and I actually don't fault them for this, I think it makes sense. Sometimes beat reporters see things from like a, processed blue colored lens. You know what I mean? Like it is you're around a team a lot. You are hoping, even if you're objective, like literally you're still like, it's more fun to cover a winning team, right? So I floated into Jacksonville territory, and I actually think they were more praising of Tetairoa McMillan, because their praise wasn't like, oh, he made plays, oh, he's good. Their praise was like, yeah, and there's nothing you can do about Tetairoa McMillan making some plays. Like, they weren't even mad at Jacksonville's defense that Tetairoa McMillan got going. They were treating him like he was a true superstar in the NFL. Because when you play against I don't know, let me pick one. When you play against the Bengals, you go like, well, Jamar's gonna get his 100 in a touchdown. You know what I mean? It's about limiting everybody else. Or yeah, sure, he'll have his 85 and a score, but you just can't let him have 200 and 3 scores. Like, that's how they were treating Tetairoa McMillan. Like, they were great early, right? The Jacksonville defense was really giving problems to Carolina, but Tetairoa McMillan made a bunch of plays and got him going, and that's just what that happens. And I was like, okay, this is good. So now I can confirm, there's usually 3 sides to every story: my side, your side, and the truth. Usually you look at a game, there's 3 sides as well. There's like the home beat writers, the away beat writers, and the truth is somewhere in the middle. But when all 3 of those align, I got really excited. And then post-practice, it was one of the stories, right? If all the beat writers saw the same thing, they're going to ask about it. You struggled, then you got going. Why? What happened? They talked to the coach about it. They talked to the quarterback about it, and they talked to Tetairoa McMillan about it. Here's Tetairoa McMillan after practice on some of the changes and some of the things that they did differently to get going.
I don't know what was going on. I feel like we just, we started slow. We gotta fix those kind of things. But, we all came together and was just like, man, let's step it up. We gotta stop trying to be cute and, move the ball period and all that. We did pretty solid. So, we'll go over the film today and see what it's talking about.
And that made me excited for a different reason. Dennis, we did not prep this, but I know 100% what Dennis's answer is going to be.
Go on.
What do we expect, whether the game or practice was great, bad, middle of the road, crazy, what do we expect at the podium from Bryce Young?
Starts with me. Same old.
Coach speak, right?
Coach speak, yeah.
It starts with me is probably the best advantage of it, right? We got to be better, and it starts with me. We're out here trying hard, working hard. We're just coach speak. And I don't know why I made him like dull. He's upbeat when he does it, right? He's excited. You need someone on that offense that's willing to say the things that Bryce won't say. There's a 0.0% chance Bryce would ever say we were trying to get too cute. We had to stop getting cute, right? You need, I'm not saying it's bad for Bryce, but I'm saying you need that from Tetairoa McMillan.
Actually, I have what Bryce said yesterday.
Let's hear exactly what Bryce said when asked a very similar question to what Tetairoa McMillan was asked.
I think we settled in. I think that's for us. Newer group. We have some moving pieces. I think that's something that we want to make sure that we're proactive about. Every drive, every play is so meaningful throughout for the course of a season. We don't want to leave any of those out there. So, didn't slow start, but I was super proud of how the guys settled in. I think that for us, it's just being able to refocus. No, it's not the end of the world, but we have to have that sense of urgency. Try to relay that to the guys. Guys as well, kind of doing that amongst themselves. And once we settled in, I think we did some good stuff. So, again, just another part of our game that we can keep growing and improving.
I mean, that's Bryce. That is Bryce. But you need both kind of leaders, right? You need the leader that is going to be buttoned up and say the right thing all of the time. And, he's probably the one when after a really, really bad game, you want him going to the podium because he's not going to dig a hole or say something he regrets. But you also need the person that's going to yell at you for being too cute when you don't start well, right? You need both. And I think Tetairoa McMillan, as a rookie last year, I don't know if he did it, right? We obviously aren't behind closed doors, but it would be tough to expect a rookie to come in and be that guy that holds everybody accountable in that kind of honest, blunt way. And it's more understandable if he's more comfortable doing that after he has over 1,000 yards and he's rookie of the year and he's put in the work and he's worked out now a couple off seasons with a lot of these guys. And it's more his, right? The offense is more, he owns it more. So I like the fact that, coaches may want to not have him go to the podium immediately after a tough loss, right? Why don't you take a shower first, right? Why don't you go cool down first before you go out there? Because you need that. There are a lot of times over the last 3 years where I've wanted Bryce Young to get mad. Right? I remember he slammed down a tablet next to him once, and they caught it on tape, or they caught it on the TV broadcast, just kind of put it down aggressively on the bench next to him. And I was like, yes, that the way you're playing deserves anger. Good. Way to go, buddy.
When we saw the video during OTAs this summer when, things were kind of wet and ready. Hey, guys, get it together.
Yes. And I was like, oh, this is good. But even I acknowledge, as much as I might, want some like Tom Brady feistiness out of him, like if it's not in your bag of tricks, I don't want you faking it. He's never going to be the guy that's jumping down your throat. Maybe you can get that from someone else on the offense. Maybe Tetairoa McMillan can do that. Maybe. I like having a variety, right? I like, the cliche, or not the cliche, like the way I've co-opted this from probably a baseball person long ago. It sounds like a baseball saying. But you can't win with a team full of milk drinkers, right? You need a couple that drink whiskey. And I'm not literally talking there. I'm just saying you need a couple of guys that aren't as worried about saying the wrong thing. They're more worried about making sure they get their message across. Because that's part of holding everybody accountable. You need somebody that's going to tell you you're on your nonsense. And it's better coming from a really good player. I know it shouldn't be. It should be like better coming from the ones that work the hardest or the ones that show up the on time the most or something. It's better coming from a really good player. It just is in sports where you can track stats and who's winning and who's losing. If it's a really good player telling everybody to get going, it's more impactful. And then the other thing I want to point out is there is a small difference between diva wide receivers that are maybe detrimental to the team and diva wide receivers that are necessary for the team. When they start slow, if he's jumping on his team, if he's telling them they're getting too cute, if he's doing whatever, I also want him saying, give me the ball. And I will be the one to drag us out of this. Right? Because a lot of times wide receivers are given a bad rap if they demand the ball, right? I'm open, throw me the ball. You start to get Terrell Owens and you start to get like all these, the quote-unquote divas. And it's a fine line between, I love me some me, and it's actually the best thing for the team to force me the ball right now. Because everybody else is on their slow start, or everybody else is a little lethargic, and I need to be the one to be the spark. And receivers are one of the only people on the team that can't kind of manufacture that on their own. Like a running back, especially if you're a contributing running back, you're going to get the ball at some point. You know you are. Defensive players, you can go make a play, right? You can go. You're going to have to make a tackle, or a pass is going to come your way at some point. You can go make a play. Receivers, they need somebody to decide to let them make a play. So that's why they are in the ear of quarterbacks all the time. I want Tetairoa McMillan on a slow start. I want Tetairoa McMillan when the Panthers are down 10 at half to say, and not always with a please, get me the ball. Because, quite frankly, it's probably what's best for the team. And if you don't believe me, go ask the Jacksonville Jaguars beat reporters that I was spying on. Me, O'Brien, and others. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That is Football at 4, brought to you by John Heister, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington. Get off your keister and come to Heister. Before we move on, and we have a unique edition of Cons and Cons coming up next. But before we do that, Dennis has something he wants to tell you.
Hey, everyone. Dennis Cox here real quick for my friends over at Loan Pronto. If you have a 2, 3, or even 4% mortgage rate, don't refinance it. You don't have to, but you can still get cash out of your home. Introducing Loan Pronto's zero-cost equity loan. That's right. With Loan Pronto, you can get all the cash you need without touching your first mortgage and without any fees. One local homeowner just got $100,000. They paid off all their credit cards, paid off their existing HELOC, remodeled their kitchen, and saved over $1,500 per month. It gets better. There's no hard credit pull up front, usually no appraisal, no long drawn-out process, and listen, no closing cost. You may even be able to skip your next 2 house payments. So call Loan Pronto now. Leave your low-rate mortgage intact, but still get the cash you need in as little as 2 weeks without paying closing costs. LoanPronto.com. See how much you can get right now. 919-381-1760. That's 919-381-1760. LoanPronto.com. For qualified homeowners, equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, plays Cons and Cons coming up.
Evan, Kenty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Shador is somebody that showed you some signs last year and that people are excited about. And yet you're bringing the past with Deshaun Watson back into the fold here. The only thing I can think is that they're thinking, let's just throw him out there. We're already paying him and try to lose as many games as possible in order to make sure that we secure the best possible draft position that we can.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Hi, friends. This is Mark Pons from Chapel Hill Tire. I get it. You don't wake up excited to schedule car maintenance. Between work, school, family activities, and everything else life throws your way, it can be tough to find the time. That's why I'm excited to share that our University Place and Crabtree locations are open Saturdays from 8 to 5. Now you'll have one more option for taking care of your vehicle. Schedule your Saturday appointment today at chapelhilltire.com and drive happy.
Hey, what do you say? John Forsland here for my friends at Buffalo Brothers. My favorite place to go in the Triangle for the best wings on the planet. How about this special? Every Monday, half-priced wings all day. Dine-in only. Now that's a deal, baby. Everything on the menu is amazing. Pizza, apps, and always great drink specials. Visit any of their 5 Triangle locations and their pet-friendly patio, too. Online, buffbrothers.com. Aw, man, now I want wings.
Jake from State Farm. I just beat my running PR, so I'm celebrating with the Banana Bonanza smoothie.
Hey, and you can keep celebrating when you create an affordable price just for you by bundling your home and auto with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. Go bananas.
I will. Hey, make it a large.
Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. So earlier today, and this does pertain to our Cons and Cons that's coming up here. Earlier today, we talked about a court ruling in the state of Louisiana that made 30 former college athletes eligible for this upcoming year that were not previously part of the 5-year additional eligibility epidemic of lawsuits sweeping the country. 16 of those 30 were former college football players. A handful of those 16 are actively on an NFL roster. This is a sentence that shouldn't even make sense, but I'm about to say it anyway. Cleveland Browns tight end Daquan Wright has entered the college football transfer portal per Chris Hummer and Matt Zenitz of CBS Sports.
Say that one more time because people are like, hold on, wait a second. Say it one more time for the people in the back.
Cleveland Browns,
the pro team
of the NFL Cleveland Browns, tight end Daquan Wright has entered the college transfer portal. Okay. Per two reporters from CBS Sports.
Carolina Panthers play the Cleveland Browns this year.
Yeah,
the pro team.
This is not like, did Brown University take on the Cleveland Browns? No, this is the Cleveland Browns. Their tight end just entered the transfer portal, and I'm pretty sure he's eligible to be taken out of the transfer portal by college football teams. So, according to the courts, and the NCAA does not have authority over court decisions. They have to make them work, I guess. So if you need a tight end in college football, if you're a team, maybe you had a tight end get hurt in training camp. Maybe you had a five-star freshman tight end that you thought was going to be ready. Turns out he needs a little seasoning. So guess what? You can go get a tight end from the Cleveland Browns. Daquan Wright's probably saying, I can play with a better quarterback if I go back to college. But thank you. And you may say, the colleges don't have to take this player back, right? They don't have to take these NFL players. Well, speaking of that CBS Sports reporting, as one personnel staffer in college puts it, open the floodgates for these types of lawsuits. Now, a Big 12 general manager, so this is a major conference, power conference general manager, told CBS Sports in response to the floodgates opening for these lawsuits. That's what we're hoping for. We need a player or two. Saturate the market, baby. End quote. So not only are they going to be taking an NFL player at a position or two of need, but they want so many NFL players to be available in the transfer portal market that the supply drives down the price on these players that they're bringing back. The win-at-all-costs college football programs, the ones that are, I don't care if I promise someone playing time, I will recruit over them, and I will look them in the eye and say, sorry, get out of my locker room, are about to get an infusion of NFL players. That played in the preseason last week. They could be playing college next week. It is that kind of crazy. And with that being said, we didn't even expect to have NFL players going in the transfer portal to lead into this, but it's kismet, right? Just kind of worked out that way. Let's hit a special college football future edition of Cons and Cons.
But to play great defense, you need one thing above all else.
That starts with a W.
Confidence.
So this is how this is going to work. Pretty soon, we're going to be able to start putting college football and NFL football teams into our Cons and Cons machine based on the games they're playing and everything else. But for right now, with it still being preseason and those teams still figuring it out, special edition of Cons and Cons. It's what are you most confident in and what are you most concerned about when thinking of the future of college football? Many believe it's the second most popular sport in our country behind the NFL football. Same sport, but you get what I'm saying. Some believe the apocalypse is imminent in college football. So what are you most confident in? What are you most concerned about for the future of college football? As always, I've got good news and bad news. You take the bad news first. So we start with the concerns. Dennis, why don't you go ahead and lead off?
My concern when it comes to college football right now is that this desire and quest for let's get as much money as we can. Let's squeeze every penny, every nickel, every dime, every quarter, every dollar that we can out of every potential resource, especially your fans, whether that's through NIL donations, through raising ticket prices, through now I have to have what streaming service in order to watch my favorite school play. You're pricing out fans. And the concern is that the casual fan that has the ability to go to games no longer has the ability to do so. And I think that's where you're going to have a potential where younger fans don't get to experience going to games on Saturdays or Friday nights whenever they're playing, that it's actually going to hurt your fan base long term. And eventually the money is going to run out coming from your fan base. because you squeezed them so much over the last few years with NIL, and you're squeezing them even more now. Eventually, that bubble will burst when it comes to the money you get from fans.
I don't know how true this is, but I read a conversation, so this was social media, about the history of college football. And pre-GI Bill, right? So we're talking like almost a century ago. Pre-people coming back from the war and being able to go to college paid for by the government, college football, again, according to this conversation, so take it with a grain of salt, it was like an elitist sport where, like, you attended games, you might wear a shirt and tie, right? You might get dressed up because it was all people that went to college, right? It was all people that could afford, that wanted to be educated, not a lot of blue collar. And the GI Bill, right, when veterans could come back and go to school and they could afford it, and more blue collar people could get that education and be connected to a college program, that's when the popularity of college football ignited truly, just because it opened it up to more people, right? It's like it took it from being like polo to being baseball. You know what I mean? Like it took it to a wider group of the American public. You don't want to go in reverse, right? You don't want to make it into an elitist again, where you have to be able to afford $1,000 tickets to go to a game, and even if you can get tickets, parking is $200, and if you want to get a jersey with a player's name on the back for your kid, it's $400. Like, you don't want it to go there, because then you're just going to eliminate what I believe is the best type of fan, the type of fan that I was, right? Like, going to a game was a big deal. It was exciting. It was fun. It was a birthday present. It was like, let's go. Let's make a whole day out of it. You don't want somebody that's just like, oh, highfalutin. Yeah, me and the firm bought tickets this year, and I'm going to use three of them to take my boy. Like, I don't want that. I want the real football fan.
I hate the fact that we were seeing, like, I got to pay I hate it in the NFL as well. I got to pay a PSL. I got to pay money for the right to buy a ticket for that seat. It's like, wait a second. Isn't that just the cost of the ticket? I got to pay a fee in order to pay you more money? Come on. It's ridiculous.
I've never been a season ticket holder of anything. Luckily now I get pretty sweet access because of my job to most things. But when, like, I've had friends go, they come for a fee for me to keep the seats that I've had for 10 years. Where, like, they've been in row R, seat 6 and 7 for 10 years. And now they're getting approached in the offseason like, well, obviously you're going to have season tickets, but if you want row R, seat 6 and 7, we need a one-time seasonal payment of $500. And it's like, I'm already buying the tickets just to reserve the seats that I've had for 10 years. But they're milking it. Ironically, that's not my concern, because my concern for the future of college football is and has been the same thing. And it's eligibility being deemed illegal. Like, if it is ever ruled that, and now it's going to be 5 years, that you cannot restrict college athletes to how many years they're allowed to play college sports, you're blocking their right to earn a living, or as long as they're eligible educationally, academically, you have to let them keep playing. I think that is the one thing that would truly uproot college sports, and it would, and this is no disrespect to minor leagues, it would just make it a minor league, right? It would make it what the Korn Ferry Tour is to the PGA, what, single A or double A is to Major League Baseball. It's still good, but it's not what college football is now. You know what I mean? Like, the G League, there's a place for the G League, but I don't think it's, filling 100,000 seat stadiums. Eligibility, I think, is very, very important, and it's being tested right now. So if at any point in time some judge somewhere says you have to let players play as long as they want, the Diego Pavias can play till they're 35, I think that becomes a very, very big problem for college football. And for NFL football, by the way, because then, like, no quarterback under the age of 25 is playing in college. Like, who's going to develop your quarterbacks? Who's going to develop your players if every team is just using older players? That's my concern. Let's get to the hopefully more optimistic parts. A lot of change in college football. Dennis, what are you most confident in?
I'm confident that the college football, the traditions that we know, are still going to be there. The fight songs, hey, we're between the hedges, Clemson running down the hill, whatever it might be. The traditions of college sports are still going to be there. The tailgating culture that we see at NC State, East Carolina, it's still all going to be there. The rivalries that we have, we're still going to have the victory bell when Duke and Carolina play each other. State and Carolina hating each other on game day. That stuff's still going to be alive and well. No matter who's playing, that stuff still is going to live and breathe. That's what makes college football special. Just college sports in general makes it special.
My confidence is indirectly related to all of that. My confidence for the future of college football is going to games. And the reason why I say it that way is I think a lot of times we get trapped, and this is like probably a bigger thing with society and news in general, but definitely in sports. You get trapped looking at your computer screen, then your phone screen, then your television screen, and there's talking heads, and they're telling you all these bad things, and us, maybe. Go to a game. When you go to a game, students are still students, right? They're still dressed up in their team gear. The usually college age, the girls have like face paint, like little sparkles and stuff, and the guys have the most ridiculous face paint with their shirts off, and like you go and there's still alumni tailgating, and there's still you go inside and everybody's into the game, and it's still there. Writing about that kind of stuff doesn't get a lot of clicks. You know what I mean? Hey, I went to a game, had a great atmosphere. It made me nostalgic for my years in college. And I watched a good game. And we all left tired and satisfied. That's not going to drum up a ton of views for ESPN, right? So instead, there's a lot of doom and gloom. But if you just go experience it for yourself, the good stuff's still there. Get you and 3 or 4 families worth of kids and everything, and go get parking spots next to each other and bring the grill and a cooler and have a heck of a time. College football is still really, really fun. It is. And again, because of our job, we're there a lot. We see it often. It's fun. That's how I should have said it. It's fun. That's Cons and Cons. Here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. Keep fun in mind. Put a pin in that. We're going to come back to it in a second. If you have some cons and cons, what are you most confident? What are you most concerned about for the future of college football or the future of college sports? You can always drop them in our YouTube live stream comments, 99.9 The Fan on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. Jump in the live stream. Let us know. Now, speaking of fun, you know what's supposed to be fun? Fantasy football. It is. And I'm not going to tell you about my team as much as it's fun for me to go in and say I got this guy in this round and I made this trade. I know no one really cares.
Trust me, I listen to that for you all, so you all, the listener, doesn't have to.
I have said for a long time that there's a great business in a subscription service where you can call and it's just somebody that'll be interested in your like poker bad beats, your fishing stories, and your fantasy football and your golf stories. And it's just somebody there going like, no way, you birdied the 4th? Oh, my goodness. No, tell me about the pitching wedge. So you were in the bunker off the – yeah, okay, tell me about it.
A sprinkler head? God, of course there's a sprinkler head.
You went cart path and had to hit over the oak? Goodness gracious. Same thing with fantasy football, right? So you're telling me you went into Monday Night Football down 30, but you had Justin Jefferson and he caught 3 touchdowns? No way. And it was against your coworker? Oh, how good was Monday? How good was Tuesday going into the office? And like, I think genuinely people would pay like $20 a month just for that service. But I won't put you through it all. I won't pay you all to listen to my fantasy football stories. But I will do this. I'll be on my soapbox for about 2 minutes. Then we're going to get into some Carolina Panthers fantasy talk. My soapbox is fantasy football is supposed to be fun. Okay? Fantasy football is supposed to make watching the NFL more fun for you, okay? So, as competitive as I am, I have to tell myself this often. Put the people on your team that you want to have on your team. Okay, if you enjoy watching someone play, or we talk a lot, like metaphorically, about buying stock in a player. If you want to buy stock in a player and just own it, just have it and not sell it, right? Everything's not about buying it for $1 and selling it for 10, right? Maybe you want to buy it for $1 and keep it until it's worthless. Like if it's your player. If you are a Carolina Panthers fan, their offense isn't going to be one of the best in the league this year. It's not going to be a top 10 offense. But if you want to roster a couple of Panthers because you're a Panthers fan, do it. Do it. If you show up and you're at your fantasy draft and you have a player that you love, you have a player that played at your college that you went to and you watched them through their college and you want to keep rooting for them, but they don't play for your favorite team, and you're in the 8th round, and guess what? Their average draft position is until the 9th and a half round, right? Middle of the 9th. You're picking in the 8th. Pick them. Make sure you get them, because if you wait and someone else takes them, you'll be mad at yourself. Now, that's not to say go absolutely crazy, right? That's not to say, especially if you're playing for money, that's not to say you throw everything away and just go nuts and get, all players. If you have 9 players from the Carolina Panthers offense this year, you're not going to have fun. You're going to lose, even if all you're doing is rooting for the Panthers. So my point is, if there's a tie, err on the side of entertainment. I have players that I've turned down trades that are ridiculous. But I'm like, no, that's my guy. Like, he's staying on my team. Sorry. Right? There's a player I refer to as my adopted son when in our league. I'm like, you're not getting him. That's my adopted son, family, over everything. So that's how it goes. All right? With that being said, be smart about it. Right? Carolina Panthers fans out there, I'm going to help you out here. There are 5 players on the Carolina Panthers offense that I could see realistically rostering without feeling like I'm just giving points away to the opposing team. But you have to acquire them in the right spot. You have to be a little crafty with it. And for this, I'm using an ESPN mock draft, just came out, a day or two ago. 10 teams, half PPR scoring. If you play fantasy, you know what that means. Tetairoa McMillan. I think he's one of the few players, even if you're not a Panthers fan, you might be excited to roster from that offense. He went 31st pick in the draft, which was the first pick of the 4th round, wide receiver number 15 in this ESPN mock draft that came out recently. Anywhere in the 3rd, okay? And really, once you get past like Nico Collins and George Pickens, he's a priority. If you take him over Nico Collins or George Pickens, if you're looking at like wide receiver rankings, that's you being bullish on him, being a little aggressive, but I don't think you'll get laughed at. Jonathan Brooks, how about this, Dennis? Jonathan Brooks went almost 20 picks before Chuba Hubbard. That's switched recently.
Interesting. I guess probably because of the injury with Chuba Hubbard, maybe?
The injury and I think ceiling.
Yeah, there's that too.
I think it's Chuba Hubbard is going to give you something, but he might not give you league winner. Jonathan Brooks, if he is the Jonathan Brooks promised, could get a little crazy there. He went 69th pick, 9th pick of the 7th round in this mock draft. He was the 28th running back. I say this, you're going to have to draft him higher than you want to if you want Jonathan Brooks on your team, because he has some sizzle going on right now, just some hype in the draft world. I would not draft him to start for me, right? But if you play like with 2 running backs and you already have those 2, I would like him as my first bench running back, right? Maybe he turns into something, but if he doesn't, you still have your guys. If your guys get hurt, maybe it's like the luxurious option of he's actually breaking out and you can put him in there. Could be a good bye week fill-in. Chuba Hubbard's pick 88, 8th pick of the 9th round. 36th running back off the board. If you can get Chuba Hubbard as the 36th running back, that's fantastic. He has a higher floor than anybody being drafted around him there. He is a great 0 running back option. If you don't know what 0 running back is, one of the strategies in fantasy football is simply that running backs get hurt so often and wide receivers and other positions are so much more predictable that you just use your first like 5 or 6 or 7 picks and don't get any running backs. And then at the end, just take a bunch of flyers. You get a bunch of backups and figure one of the guys ahead of them will get hurt and they'll become a playable running back. Chuba Hubbard at the end of the 9th round is a great zero running back option. Start him week 1 if he's healthy. If he's not healthy, obviously you got to put him on IR and figure some things out. Jalen Coker, 2nd pick of the 14th round in the mock draft. I want him on my bench at that price. I'd take him around early because who cares about the 12th round pick ADP? If I get to the 12th or 13th round and Jalen Coker's there, you better believe I'm walking out of the draft with Jalen Coker on my team. And then lastly, the last one that I could see rostering, he was undrafted in the mock draft, is Darren Waller. Last round flyer. If your draft has 15 rounds, 15th round, throw a flyer at Darren Waller. I would not feel bad if you realize going into week 1 you need to make a drop to grab someone else and you drop Darren Waller. But I also, if your team stays healthy, if you like what your starters look like, rostering him for a little bit could pay dividends. He might end up a big part of that pass offense. He might not, but it's a last round flyer, right? Take the chance, buy the lotto ticket because why not? Those are the 5 if you're a Panthers fan and you want to have the fun of watching your favorite team and being doubly excited when a guy from your fantasy roster scores. Those would be the 5. If you're in a super deep league, obviously you're probably a fantasy nerd and you don't need me to tell you what to do. If you're playing in like a, start 14, roster 35, we draft, 40 rounds. If that's you, you don't need me. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, but it is fantasy football draft season. I have my first one over the weekend for a redraft league. Excited. Sunday night, you know where I'll be.
I have one rule when it comes to fantasy football. I don't draft anyone of a team that I don't like. Like, for example, I'm a born and raised Steelers fan. My mom's from Western Pennsylvania. I don't have anyone on my team from Cincinnati, Cleveland, or Baltimore. Plain and simple.
Similar. Like, have fun.
Yeah.
Don't make yourself root against your team twice a year. Because I'm in enough fantasy leagues, and this is, again, close to you guys not caring. I get very mad when going into Monday, I have a player on my team in one league and a player that I'm playing against, is the same person. In League A, I have Tetairoa McMillan on my team. In League B, I'm playing against him this week, so I need him to simultaneously have 20 or more points and less than 10 for me to win both. I get very mad when that happens. Not saying I do anything to stop it, but think of your enjoyment when you're drafting or playing fantasy football. That's what I'm saying. And don't play for so much money that if you lose, it's like, that's mortgage. That's a rent check, because then nothing is fun and it's all just pressure. Play for, if you're playing for money, enough to make it exciting, enough to make it, little stakes, but don't go crazy.
Are you one of those people that if you just have a season-long fantasy, not a dynasty, but season-long fantasy, that you try, if you have multiple teams, you try and draft the exact same team for that reason? I try to.
I catch myself in redraft, which is the leagues that start over every year, trying to pick guys on my dynasty team, which is a roster that stays the same year over year over year, like your guys stay with your team, because I don't like rooting for and against. So my redraft teams often end up looking a lot like my dynasty team. But that's, again, we're getting dangerously close to everybody saying, nobody cares about your fantasy. I was doing it for you. This was a soapbox to make everybody have a good time. Isn't that how people have a good time when you yell at them? Have fun. Aren't we having a good time? That's what I do when my son has his friends over. Everybody have fun. No, I'm kidding. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I'm coaching 5-year-old soccer this weekend. I will be yelling at them to have fun. Full kicking and screaming, Will Ferrell style. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I'm trying to get to our next segment because I want to hear from many of you. Feedback Frenzy coming up.
The Adam Gold Show.
We're going to find out in the first 5 weeks of the season whether or not NC State's going to have a great season or a decent season. Because if they can get off to a good start, winning at Virginia is not going to be easy. Winning at Vanderbilt's not going to be easy. But the one thing they're going to have the better quarterback in all of those games. Because if C.J. Bailey is great, the Wolfpack might threaten 10 wins, and that would be remarkable.
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
Curious about how a new smile could boost your confidence? At Chapel Hill Family and Cosmetic Dentistry, Dr. James Ferguson and his team use advanced technology and cutting-edge patient care for complete smile transformations, from subtle enhancements to full mouth rehabilitation. For a limited time, get a complimentary cosmetic consult to see what they can do for you. Visit chapelhilldds.com to request your free consultation today. Come see what's possible. chapelhilldds.com.
Hey, this is Luke with Newcomb & Company. We're a residential, commercial, plumbing, HVAC company who's been serving the community for over 70 years. Honesty is the biggest policy around here. We take pride in everything we do, anything we touch. We're not one of those companies that come and throw it in and then you can't get a hold of them again. We're there with you hand in hand. Here at Newcomb & Company, what stands apart from other companies is we actually do more than just AC and heat pumps. We do boilers, geothermals, furnaces, radiant floor, anything that is odds and ends that nobody else can touch is what we thrive on. At Newcomb & Company, we do same-day service. That's also another thing that helps us stand apart from other places is we do same-day service because we have enough professionals to get out to these houses to solve what the problems are. And we're on 24/7 on emergency basis, weekends, nights, holidays, you name it, we're there.
Newcomb & Company, your Carrier factory authorized dealer. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company, your comfort is our business.
Rev up your summer at the Make This the Summer event going on now at John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington. Grab summer adventures when you drive home a brand new 2026 Ram 1500 for 20% off. Excludes RHO. See dealer for details. Or expand your options for off-road exploration with a new 2026 Jeep Gladiator. Save 15% off during the Make This the Summer event. Plus, get 2.9% financing for 72 months. So get off your keister and get to John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington today.
With Bet365 Early Payout, you win even if they lose. Get paid out instantly when your team goes up big, even if they blow the lead later. Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in North Carolina.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. If you are looking for a college football local angle or state of North Carolina angle, on the news today that a whole bunch of players were granted a fifth year of eligibility in a court case in Louisiana. Ethan Johnson played for Appalachian State last year, and he was all Sun Belt, and he's played, I don't know, like 40 games in his career for the Mountaineers. He was just given today an extra year of eligibility. Now, his name is in the transfer portal as of 2 hours ago, so it's not necessarily a guarantee that he would be back at App State, but there's at least a possibility. If not, there's just an all-conference cornerback from last year out there on the open market, and we'll see who where he ends up. But he's in the transfer portal, and that wasn't the case earlier today. Wild. But what's not wild, or what is wild and it's exciting, is that so many of you interact with us online, and so many of you comment on our YouTube videos. So as part of our relationship, we bring some of those comments on air in a segment we call a Feedback Frenzy.
All right, Tim, this actually comes from a YouTube live chat earlier when we were having the conversation about our confidence and concerns when it comes to the future of college football and kind of college sports in general. We had to talk about something I brought up about how much these colleges are really squeezing out fans in terms of every dollar and how things are really getting expensive for fans to go attend games. And this one actually comes from Frank Underwood, says this in our YouTube live chat. Our society is built on only thinking about the short term. Eventually, the party will be over.
Do you know what's actually maybe more scary? I don't know if it will. There's still, with football especially, there's just a limited number of games, right? If you fill your stadium 8 times, that's all you got to do, right? I think they can raise prices on most things and we'll still pay because we like it that much. Like, I unfortunately, I wish we could be organized enough as like an entire college football fandom and say, like, everybody stop buying tickets. But there's always going to be somebody that's like, well, if they all stop buying tickets, I'll buy the tickets. Because there's not that many. So I think the prices will go up, and I think a lot of us will still pay them. Like, even I'm not going to give them a shout out because, they don't advertise with us. There are companies that are making like retro gear now to look like the college football or college sports gear we wore in like the 90s. And every single time it comes up on my feed, I'm like, oh, that's cool. Oh, let me go see if they have a team I care about. And then I see the prices and I'm like, good night. Not buying it. But somebody is. Like, they're thriving companies. So, just because, like, we maybe, like me, you, people I know might not be willing to spend that much, somebody is. So be careful. Like, the party might keep going for them is what I'm saying.
Speaking of college football, we had a conversation yesterday about Bill Belichick. Is he potentially on the hot seat this season if things don't go well for UNC football after last year's 4-8 season? This one on our YouTube conversation, or YouTube comments from that video we posted on YouTube, comes from CP-VZ9MH. That's right, just a lot of random letters here. CP says, whomever was part of his hiring, Bill Belichick's hiring, every member of UNC's board of trustees, the chancellor, etc., need to be fired with Belichick and his entire staff if they don't make a bowl this year. The board chair and the hiring architect, whomever it is, Senator Tom Tillis, they need to go. This has been an utter embarrassment for UNC and its athletic program. Go on campus and ask the students there. They are not happy. They are made fun of by their friends at other schools.
All right,
this person brought some heat.
I don't disagree with anything you're saying. I do think some of the people that hired Bill Belichick are the type of people who don't get fired. They do the firing. And that's not, like, the hiring seemed messy as well with some of the reports that came out of it as far as who knew and who didn't know what was happening. So I don't want to speak with any kind of authority on who should be or would be or could be fired. But I will say, like, students are never polled on hiring of like big money. If students were polled, the head coach would be like, I don't know, Raymond Felton or something. It would be Tyler Hansbrough. It would be I don't know if they would be the best to use it either. Listen, the Bill Belichick hire was a risk. The ceiling was high, the floor is low, and they've hit the floor and they might be digging into the basement a little bit. I still think it's one of those deals looking back, like 2020 hindsight, maybe not, but you put a lot of people in that same situation and tell them it's a possibility. I think a lot of people are going to walk away with Bill Belichick as their head coach. It's just, what do you do from here? That's kind of the next question. What do you do from here? Retroactive, being mad about the past. There's a reason why the windshield is much bigger than the rear view mirror. Looking back isn't going to do much for you.
Well, in that same conversation,
All
not
right.
everyone feels the same way as what CP said. Tar Heel Ron says this: you got to give Bill Belichick the third year at least. I mean, the guy inherited a bare cupboard.
Not a 4-win team.
Nope.
They did not inherit a 4-win team. Listen, Mac Brown was not at his best. I'm not going to say, like, the guy had a national championship at Texas, right? Like, his first run through North Carolina, through Chapel Hill was impressive. He wasn't. It's not a bare cupboard. It may not have been a fully stocked cupboard, but it was not a bare cupboard. Listen, it hasn't gone well. It hasn't gone well. I don't want to pretend that it has. You don't always have to turn around and blame 900 people. Sometimes there's a small group, it's their fault, and also their contracts have given them some leeway to try to make up for it. Let's see what he does with year number 2 before we start talking year number 3. One of the hardest things to do is, and actually Bill Belichick was one of the best at it in the NFL, is realizing you made a mistake quickly and moving on. I used to be so impressed by Bill Belichick's ability to cut like a second-round pick going into year 2, right? Because nobody in the NFL was doing that. Nobody. Because it made you look like you were admitting you were wrong. But Bill Belichick had the job security and the gall to do that. Sometimes it's difficult but necessary to agree you made a mistake quickly and move on. That's got to be in your bag of tricks. It's got to be in your tool belt.
All right, let's actually go to the conversation we had yesterday regarding the Carolina Panthers and the joint practice that they held with the Jacksonville Jaguars down there in Florida. This one comes from a Quantum Epic, talking about Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers. A Quantum Epic says J.J. McCarthy, quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings,
backup,
got demoted to QB2 after 10 starts. Bryce Young in Carolina has had 45. Why does he get such a long leash? I can't remember a quarterback ever getting so many excuses and the he needs more pieces around him treatment.
Few things. The pro Bryce Young contingent will say, give him Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison and Aaron Jones and TJ Hawkinson and Brian O'Neill and like on and on and Kevin O'Connell calling plays, the same coach, and we'll see what happens, right? The other thing is, so that's like, you know, the context. You may even call it an excuse. True. Even if you're a Bryce hater, I think this has to make sense. The investment in Bryce was significantly more than the investment in J.J. McCarthy. Yeah, sure, J.J. McCarthy was a first-round pick. He was not the number 1 overall pick. They did not trade away multiple first-round picks, multiple second-round picks, and a pretty darn good wide receiver to move up and get him. When you invest that much, you can't really move on, right? J.J. McCarthy was benched. What did they do to bench him? They brought in Kyler Murray at a pretty big-ticket price. The Panthers can't bring in Kyler Murray at a pretty big-ticket price because their money is spoken for elsewhere on the roster because of all the things they gave up to go get Bryce, right? They had to go pay Jalen Phillips because they couldn't draft an edge rusher with a first-round pick that they gave up for Bryce. They had to pay Trayvon Merrick and Devin Lloyd and Derek Brown because they couldn't use draft picks, and they had to go use a draft pick on Tetairoa and McMillan because they traded away DJ Moore. Like, all of that is kind of there. They're just not the same situation. I'll put it that way. J.J. McCarthy, Bryce Young, not the same situation, and using them as an apples-to-apples comparison is going to drive yourself crazy.
Let's see. Murray signed 1 year, $1.3 million contract, so he got a vet minimum.
I thought that was more than that. Oh, because the Cardinals are still paying him?
Yeah. He gets a bunch of
I take that back
from
then.
the Cardinals.
I take back that part of it. Maybe the Panthers should have brought in Kyler Murray.
Maybe.
I wouldn't be surprised if next year they have a Kyler Murray being brought in. But my other point still stands. Gosh, the Cardinals are paying him that much still? Because I'm pretty sure he's making like $30 million this year.
Yeah, well, he's got all the guarantees still coming over, so he's just making the vet minimum with the Vikings.
Yowzers.
Take all that Arizona money.
Yeah, never mind. I stand corrected. But still, the situations are different. Bryce has not been given the support that J.J. McCarthy has in Minnesota, meaning the players around him. His stats, and this is actually kind of difficult to do because Bryce had some real low points. J.J. McCarthy's stats have been worse in a lot of ways, and they didn't invest as much in J.J. McCarthy compared to what the Panthers invested in Bryce. It's very nice to know that a team has mortgaged their future to acquire you because it guarantees you more time to show what you got. Speaking of number 1 overall picks, by the way, Fernando Mendoza is expected to not only start for Vegas tonight against Houston in their preseason game, he's expected to play most of, if not all of, the first half. And you can hear that game right here on 99.9 The Fan, 7:30 pregame, 8 o'clock start. Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, starting 5 coming up next.
At Adam.
I'm Adam Gold, and I'm there.
Tim.
I'm Tim Donnelly, and I'm there.
Dennis.
I'm Dennis Cox, and I'm there.
Victoria.
I'm Victoria Bodenecker, and I'm there.
Paul.
I'm Paul Eihander, and I'm there too.
You'll find them all here on the brand new 99.9 The Fan app. To work, to school, the beach, the mountains, the arena, take The Fan with you wherever you go. Available for Apple iPhone and Android phones. Download the 99.9 The Fan app today.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
Hey, man, been to Sharky's lately?
Yeah, man, I was there last night with you.
Oh, yeah. The wings and the burgers are killer. They have so many beers it's hard to choose, you know?
I know. You know, they got trivia on Tuesdays and luck of the draw darts on Sunday, man. I love them both.
Yeah, I love that place, man.
You know what, man? I think Sharky's may be the best bar in the world.
Yeah, I think you're right, man. Let's go grab a beer.
Sharky's at the corner of Delta Lake Drive and Durham Road, open 7 days a week.
Experience legendary craftsmanship with an Omega timepiece. From the iconic Speedmaster that journeyed to the moon to the sleek Seamaster made famous by the world's most stylish spy, Omega watches are built for precision, adventure, and timeless elegance. At Bailey's Fine Jewelry in Raleigh's Village District, explore a curated selection of Omega timepieces that speak to your legacy. Whether you're starting a collection or adding your next chapter, find your perfect fit at Bailey's, voted best jeweler. Visit BaileyBox.com to learn more.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, Injury Lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to RitchieLaw.com.
That's RitchieLaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Eagle Leasing Storage Studio. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Hey, it's the weather.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Kat Campbell. Scattered storms remain possible into the evening. Overnight will gradually dry out with lows in the low to mid 70s. Friday, it's mostly cloudy with highs reaching the upper 80s. Rain and storms are likely by the late afternoon and evening.
Weather update brought to you by All-Star Dog Training. You've seen their dogs featured in college and professional sports. They can train your dog too. Visit allstardogtraining.com and schedule your free evaluation today. 5 o'clock, check of your money. Dow Jones at the closing bell today, down 703 points to 52,759.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting five.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we get to the starting five, a few things that I would just like to say. First of all, do you know what today is, Dennis?
Happy National Radio Day.
It is National Radio Day.
Let's go, baby.
We got into this a little bit earlier. It's wild, and it's so appreciative that y'all, drive home with us and hang out with us. I don't say it enough, but we have the best listeners in the world. Thank you. Appreciate you. National Radio Day, I don't believe it's about celebrating the people that work in radio. We have, a lot of fun every day. It's about celebrating y'all, the listeners that let us do what we do. Somebody on Twitter today just took a screenshot and sent it to me because they were stoked that they got to one of our YouTube videos 26 seconds after it was posted.
Oh, nice.
So they were like, look at this. Like, that makes us feel very good that y'all are that invested. So thank you. Happy National Radio Day.
One of the things that I love about radio is the live aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
But second of all, you know what I love about radio? The free aspect of it.
Hey, there you go.
It's free.
It is.
In the day and age, we got to have a subscription for all this kind of stuff to watch or listen, whatever it might be. We're always here.
That is true.
Tune that dial. We got you. Free.
We appreciate all.
Even
appreciate
our app
all of
is
you.
free.
Do you know what else today is before we get to the starting five?
August 20th.
Which is 1 month until Canes hockey, baby. We are exactly 1 month.
For their first preseason
game against the Panthers. Wow. September 20th, the Florida Panthers. September 20th.
Is that the one that's in Greensboro?
So
no, they have one of their.
No, it's in Sunrise.
Oh, that's in Sunrise. Okay, because I know they have a preseason game in Greensboro at the Coliseum, which is cool.
So yeah, I believe they start on the road. But still 1 month. 1 month. Just want to let everybody know that. That's one of those things. I always get frustrated when people are like, goodness gracious, is it September already? And I'm like, well, has it been August for a month? Like, we know how calendars work, right? But I do get surprised by the calendar every now and then. A month till hockey. It's preseason hockey, but it's still hockey. All right, now we've gotten all that out of the way. We can get to our regularly scheduled segment. The starting five is brought to you by Baker Home Exteriors. We do good work at a profit if we can, at a loss if we must, but always good work. That's the Baker name, Baker Home Exteriors. Let's start with number 5.
Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
We have 2 NFL preseason games tonight. Vegas at Houston, which we've been talking about. You can hear it here on 99.9 The Fan. 7:30 pregame, 8 o'clock start for the broadcast. I'll give just like a quick on each team playing tonight. Vegas, Fernando Mendoza playing for up to a half. It feels...
Hey, starting.
It feels like this week, if you're going to make a move, if you're going to try to make it undeniable that you should be the starter, and this goes for like any position, this is the week to do it. Third preseason game is much more like cautious, and maybe you're trying to sort out like the end of the bench, but the big decisions have been made. If Mendoza lights it up, I think there's a chance that Kirk Cousins' days are numbered, and maybe earlier than we thought. But also like Ashton Genty should be playing. It's, you know, the Raiders are an interesting squad this year. Houston, you know what you're rooting for? You just want them healthy because they have a joint practice with the Panthers next week, and you want to get a fastball look from them. You don't want them being worried about injuries, so you want most of their guys to come out healthy. They've already lost Jaden Higgins, a wide receiver that they were excited for the year, and that happened kind of recently. So get after it, stay healthy, because the Panthers want a good look from you next week. San Fran Chargers, so Niners at the Chargers is the late game tonight. That'll be a 10 o'clock start. San Francisco is similar to Houston. They just want to avoid injuries. They want to stop the substation jokes. They've got guys falling left and right. Players trying to work their way back from injury. Tell me if you've heard this before, Carolina Panthers fans. Christian McCaffrey's hurt, and they're being real cryptic about when he's going to return. Sounds familiar.
Also, water's wet.
Yeah. Well, it just seems like every year he's either like unbelievably durable and they give him the ball 500,000 times, or he like misses a practice for tightness or soreness and it ends up being like a 3-month injury. Like there's nowhere in between, but he's missing some time for tightness and soreness. The Chargers, we are expecting, meaning they've indicated that their starters are going to play a little bit, so Justin Herbert, Omarion Hampton for Carolina fans. Be our first look at them this preseason. We'll see what they look like. NFL. It's not regular season, but it's still football. Tonight around the NFL. That's number 5. Let's hit number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, all together. Let's do that hockey.
Dennis, do you speak any German?
Danke. Thank you.
Okay, I was going to say, nein. The NHL and FC Bayern, which I believe is a soccer club.
Yeah.
All right. I'm getting there. I'm there.
Let's go.
Announced today a first-of-its-kind strategic multi-year partnership designed to accelerate the growth of hockey in Germany and the development of FC Bayern in North America. The unique collaboration is part of NHL's long-term. This is directly from an NHL public relations statement. The unique collaboration is part of the NHL's long-term international growth strategy in Germany, which includes regular season games in the country for at least the next 3 seasons, starting with the 2026 NHL Global Series in December. Unveiled today at a place that I can't pronounce, with German NHL stars Leon Draisaitl and JJ Peterka. There's going to be more games 2027 and beyond in Draisaitl's hometown. So they're building a whole bunch of kind of plannable, you can promote them, games in Germany for the NHL. The reason why I think it's interesting is when you have a lead or when your business is doing really, really well, some businesses, some leagues, some organizations maybe ignore that part. I say strengthen your strengths. The NFL, the NBA, Major League Baseball seem to always be working to make their games, their sports more global, make more fans of their sport in other countries. The NFL has played games in Germany. The Panthers, Carolina Panthers, have played a game in Germany in recent years. The NHL has many more fans. Hockey has many more fans in Europe than, say, American football does. They have a lead. They should want to keep that lead. They should be over there more often than the NFL because you already have fans that care about hockey. Build that. Be a good business. Your cap is going through the roof. Your TV deals are going through the roof. Well, guess what? Go sell those rights for more money in Germany or Sweden or Finland, right? The Canes are going to Finland, possibly because they have one of the better Finnish players in the league, and Sebastian Aho. Like, use your players' marketability. I think the NFL does a decent job of this. They are obviously trying to get better because right now it is a very North American sport. I think NBA does a great job internationally. Similar to the NFL, they have players coming from all over the globe to play. I think baseball needs to do a much better job of this. I think baseball doesn't do a good enough job of marketing themselves using their players' brands. Like Leon Draisaitl in Germany. Yeah, I'll draft off of that. I'll ride that wave, ride that momentum. You should. Sebastian Aho in Finland. Did anybody see him holding up the trophy at some it looked like a music festival, holding up the Stanley Cup in Finland? Yeah, go play a game there. Let that popularity rub off on you. Where else can you play? Who else can you bring to their hometown? You should think about it. That's number 4. Let's get to number 3. The BMW Championship is going on, PGA Tour. It's out there in St. Louis, I believe. And it is nearly wrapping up the first round. This is a FedEx Cup playoff event for the PGA. It is the second round, meaning just the top 50 in FedEx Cup points, which is a season-long accumulation, including last week's playoff event. Just the top 50 are invited to the BMW Championship. They are playing to win the tournament. Big purse, right? Lots of money on the line. But also, they are playing to be in the top 30 and advance to the Tour Championship next week. Right now, there is a 3-way tie at the top. It is Gary Woodland, Wyndham Clark, and J.J. Spawn. Woodland and Clark are both done for the day in the clubhouse. J.J. Spawn is through 15 holes, so he can still get better or worse. But they are tied for first at 6 under par. Rory McIlroy still on the course at 5 under, so he's 1 off the lead in a tie for 4th. The highest at the moment on the leaderboard of the players who played their college sports right here in the state of North Carolina or the connected to the state of North Carolina. Right now it's Alex Fitzpatrick. That's Matt Fitzpatrick's little brother. He played at Wake Forest. He is 4 under par, just 2 strokes off the leaders and in a tie for 6th. He has had some really big performances since he got his PGA Tour card earlier this year. Ben Griffin played at Carolina. He is tied for 18th, 2 under par. Alex Smalley, formerly of Duke, Michael Brennan, formerly of Wake Forest, JT Poston, formerly of Western Carolina, are all tied for 26th, 1 under par. Ryan Gerard, another Tar Heel, tied for 33rd. He is even. And Cameron Young, another former Demon Deacon, he made up a stroke down the stretch, but he's still over par, 1 over par, and a tie for 37th. And remember, the top 50 are playing, so, top 37 is not where you want to be, especially when you're a golfer. The caliber of Cam Young. But you know what's the best part for Cam Young? He played so well this year already, he's guaranteed to be in the Tour Championship next week. Even if he finishes dead last, even if he didn't play in this one, he would still be in the top 30 and would make his way to the Tour Championship. Some of the other guys we follow, they're trying to play their way into the Tour Championship. Michael Brennan probably has to give like a top 2 maybe to advance, maybe even win the tournament to advance to the Tour Championship. Ben Griffin is similar. JT Poston can make some moves. Western Carolina's finest, JT Poston. If the tournament ended right now, he'd be 33rd. The top 30 play in the Tour Championship. So get after it. Make a move. There is no tomorrow for you. It's the Bourbon Bowl. Can't hold anything back now. I mean, just the fact, top 50, we have 7 that played college golf here in the state of North Carolina. I think that's like 14%? 14% of the top 50 right here played their college golf in what I'm pretty soon going to start calling the Mecca of college golf, the state of North Carolina. We already claim, rightfully so, Mecca of college basketball. College golf, we're coming for it.
I mean, college golf, even at the Division III level, look at Methodist University on the women's side has won a bunch of national championships. Their men's side, Greensboro College has won national championships as well on the men's.
I will admit we are probably still chasing Georgia. There's some Georgia Tech, Georgia, Augusta State. There's some good ones there, but we're on the way. We're coming for you. That's number 3. Let's get to number 2.
Just the two of us.
The Carolina Tar Heels non-conference basketball schedule in its entirety released earlier today. I'm not going to read every game for you, but I can tell you this. The month of November, a lot of mid-majors. There's a Georgia mixed in there at the end, West Virginia, and the Dick Vitale Invitational in Charlotte, but no teams ranked in the ESPN Way Too Early Top 25. No teams expected to be behemoths. It is a relatively manageable November for the Tar Heels. December features Arkansas, top 10 team in the Way Too Early Top 25. That's the ACC SEC Challenge. They also face NC State in the Tobacco Road Classic, which was announced yesterday, and Kentucky in the CBS Sports Classic in New York. They are a top 20 team in the ESPN Way Too Early Top 25. Their only non-conference game past the new year in January is Illinois, the number 3 team in the Way Too Early Top 25. And that's in the Nashville Hoops Showdown neutral site in Nashville. Dennis, what do you think of the Tar Heels non-conference schedule in its entirety, right? Obviously, we're excited for the Illinois game, the Kentucky game, the Tobacco Road Classic. There are individuals that we know we're excited for. When you look at the whole kit and caboodle, how do you think Michael Malone and his staff did?
I think for Michael Malone and him being new to college basketball, I think there's a good ease into it, if that makes sense, a good acclimation period. Especially look at the first 3 games. Western Carolina, you have Wyoming as part of that mix as well, and I can't remember the one off the top of my head. First
right at the top, it's Western Carolina. Hold on.
Wofford, then Wyoming.
Wofford, Wyoming, Georgia, Marshall, Monmouth.
Yeah, but just those first 3 games. Western Carolina, Wofford, Wyoming. There are adjustments that Michael Malone is going to have to the college game when it comes to actual in the game. I think that's something that we overlook in the sense of the games are shorter, so he didn't have 48 minutes, it's just 40. He does halves as opposed to quarters. So the clock structure is a little bit different. You also have less timeouts to work with. You also have, you don't have 6 fouls like you have in the NBA. You only have 5, so how do you do foul management? You also don't have like you have in the NBA, which is a 24-second shot clock. It's 30. So possessions are a little bit longer. You might have fewer possessions, obviously shorter game as well. So just the X's and O's, some of that aspect he's going to have to adapt to a little bit about how he manages the flow of the game, how he manages his minutes with his players, timeouts, and all that kind of stuff. And I think against some lesser competition in terms of talent is going to help him adapt in that regard. Hey, figure out, okay, that's right. I can't advance the ball if we get a rebound and call a quick timeout. We can't advance the ball to the front court. I got to inbound from the baseline. That's a little bit different about how I draw something up as opposed to inbounding from the front court like you can do in the NBA. So it's little game stuff like that he's going to have to adapt to, and he's only going to get that by actual live reps. So having a relatively easy non-conference to start, I think is a great thing for Michael Malone. Get some of that reps under your belt, get some wins under your belt, and then adapt and learn as you go.
Everything, and I agree with a lot of what Dennis just said there, but everything, there's pros and cons. The cons for this year's team is it puts a little bit more pressure on the big games that you do have. If you want to have a top-of-the-resume building win, right, especially when it comes to NCAA tournament, seeding time, you're looking at the committee, right? If you play 10 ranked teams in your non-conference schedule, you lose one, it's like, fine, we got 9 more plus our entire ACC schedule to go get that crown jewel win. You're going to have to beat a Duke in your non-conference schedule, or a Louisville, or you're going to have to beat Kentucky or Illinois in your non-conference schedule, and you don't have as many chances to get that top of the line. Your net ranking may not be as high as you want it to be because you're not going to get a huge net ranking boost from much of your non-conference schedule. So you got to take care of business when you have the opportunity to take care of business against the quad one games that you do have scheduled, because you had to prioritize getting everybody settled and getting everything set up in your schedule this year. It happens. I'm not saying it's the wrong decision. I'm just saying it does come, everything has pros and cons. Almost everything. That's number 2. How about number 1?
The one! What?
Today is a weird day in college sports. It is a strange day, and I hope it's not a day we look back on a few years from now and go, we should have known everything was crumbling when all that happened on August 20th, 2026. There was another lawsuit. There was another court ruling, which, at this point, it just seems like they're never ending. But there was another lawsuit. There was another court ruling that made another group of players, athletes in college sports who prior to today had no eligibility left, and the court ruling says they get another year of eligibility. The reason why today is unique is a handful of the players that were given eligibility today are actively signed. They are a part of an NFL roster. Matter of fact, and I said this earlier, according to CBS Sports, Cleveland Browns tight end, current active Cleveland Browns tight end Daquan Wright has entered the college transfer portal, per Chris Hummer and Matt Zenitz of CBS Sports. The former Ole Miss star is currently on the Browns roster. So, for those of you keeping track at home, Daquan Wright played 4 years of college football, most recently for Ole Miss, had no eligibility, declared for the draft, went undrafted, signed with the Browns, is still on the Browns, and has put his name in the transfer portal, and a court ruling, a judge has said the NCAA is not allowed to make him ineligible. Now, there are still appeals and everything that can happen, and there's a show cause thing that the NCAA is going to have to argue their cause. But if history is any indicator, the NCAA is not winning any court rulings. Actually, let me take a step back. Do you know what is one of the only things that has gone well for my eligibility arguments in college sports recently? College basketball felt like the Wild Wild West last year until a player that had played in the NBA tried to go to college. That was like the one thing that the NCAA was able to stop from happening, or actually after the player was already on the roster and played a little bit, was able to reverse from happening. I don't know if they got the juice in football There's too much money. There's too many lawyers. I think the NCAA is going to get bullied, as we've seen so many times. The other thing that struck me about this entire situation is, let me go ahead and bring it up here. CBS Sports Report, again, I'm just going to read 2 quick sentences here from the CBS Sports Report. Many around the front office space, these are college front offices, many around the front office space expecting the developments on Wednesday to, as one personnel staffer put it, open the floodgates for these types of lawsuits. Now, I get that, right? If you're a player and you're in a different state and you just saw this happen and you don't have eligibility, but you think you can make some real NIL money if you get one more year to play, you're going to call up a lawyer and you're going to say, do that for me too. Now, open the floodgates. The next sentence is the one that it's laughable. A Big 12 general manager, so a current college general manager, told CBS Sports, "That's what we're hoping for. We need a player or two. Saturate the market, baby."
Need a lot of supply for little demand.
Exactly. They're like, well, we're going to buy an edge rusher or whatever they need, right? We're going to buy an edge rusher and a safety. It would be nice if there's 1,000 edge rushers and safeties with NFL experience that are out there on the market, so we don't have to outbid everybody else. We can all get our own former NFL edge rusher to join our team. It is that, like, that's happening. Do you know what it is? It is another way. I didn't even think of this, but it is another way that the big money schools are going to bully the small money schools. Because, Dennis, you remember we were at ACC kickoff talking to Bill O'Brien, head coach, Boston College, and you could tell how excited he was that his university had pledged enough financial backing that he was able to boost his scouting department to have a scouting department for high school and some staffers to scout the transfer portal, right? And he was like, that's how we ended up. Their quarterback is coming from the Division II level. And he's like, that's how we found him, because now we finally had the resources. Right now, today, at this moment, there are college scouts that are watching high school tape, that are trying to decide who they're going to offer in high school. They're crisscrossing the country to be at preseason scrimmages and games as they start this week. There are high school games going on tonight in the state of North Carolina. That same staff will have somebody watching college tape, right? They'll be paying attention to anything they can across the college landscape for transfer portals, and they're going to have someone watching NFL tape to see if Pyburn, the edge rusher for the Bucks, who got his eligibility today, was as impressive as it seems when he got 2 sacks last Friday against the Jets. College coaches are going to be watching NFL tape this weekend to see if there are players that can help them. I try to be a solutions guy, not just a problems guy, right? I do my best. I think I'm going to have to go to one of my least favorite things, which is just using hope as a strategy and just hoping that the NCAA can David versus Goliath this thing and actually win a court battle and keep eligibility as close to intact as they possibly can. Because you can't have players playing in the NFL on a Friday and joining a new college team the following Tuesday. And it looks like that is what courts are going to mandate happens. I mean, like, what if, I don't know, what if a really good running back, maybe even a drafted running back, shows up and doesn't like the offensive line and is like, I'm going to get crushed here. You know where I wouldn't get crushed? University of Texas.
Yeah, I can run by everyone there.
Where they'll give me $2.5 million, which is more than I'm going to be making, my 3-year rookie deal.
I'm going to float a name out here for you, Tim.
Okay.
Along the same lines. So there's a running back by the name of Damian Martinez. Was drafted in 2025.
Miami.
Played at Miami for a couple of seasons. But before that, he started at Oregon State his first 2 years. Freshman, sophomore year, played at Oregon State. Third year, played at Miami 2024. 2020 played 3 years of college. Didn't redshirt, three full seasons of college football. Gets drafted in 2025 by the Seattle Seahawks. Was on their practice squad for a little bit, gets let go of their practice squad, signs on the practice squad last year, eventually with the Green Bay Packers, signs a futures contract, and is in the offseason with the Green Bay Packers. Has not played in an NFL game. Only on a practice squad, hasn't played in an NFL game. Is playing in preseason games right now. If he had stayed in college, this would be his 5th year. And if he had stayed in college, he would be eligible. Hasn't played in a pro game, but has played in preseason games. Actually played against the Steelers the other day. Had 8 carries for 20 yards as a running back. Who's to say he can't go back to college? He hasn't played in an NFL game.
I'm not making fun of Dennis here. Have you seen the GIF of Charlie from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, where he has like all these like
that's me.
Yeah, that's what you seem like right now. And this is what I was worried about. It's the precedent. It's if this is allowed, why isn't this other thing allowed?
Exactly.
And if this is allowed, why isn't this third thing allowed? And if those those 3 things are allowed, then I'm pretty sure we're going to end up somehow with like Tom Brady suiting up for Michigan for 1 year. Like it's
might happen.
I don't like it's the connecting of the dots. Actually, here's the word I've been looking for all day. And it's right there, and I should have known it because it's a very common turn of phrase. We are standing at the top of an extremely slippery slope. And if we make one wrong step, and when I say we, I mean college sports, if we make one wrong step here, we're going to be like dish soap, slip and slide, flying down that slippery slope, and we're not going to be able to stop it. We're not going to be able to stop it. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we grab our numbers game contestants, we've had some good and some ugly numbers games here, so let's pick it up. Before we do that, I want to remind you that the starting 5 is brought to you by the Baker family. The Baker family Baker Home Exteriors have roofed the Carolinas since 1915. Baker Home Exteriors, roofing, siding, windows, and doors. Always good work. BakerHomeExteriors.com. And also, Tim Donnelly here for Miller Lending. Listen, no closing costs, no hidden fees. Simple. That's how I like my mortgages. Not that I've had a ton of them, but if you have had a ton of them, you know, coming up with that check for closing costs, it's not fun, right? You budget for the down payment. That's a chunk of change you don't like leaving your bank account. You budget for the monthly payment. That's a chunk of your income you don't like leaving your bank account. And then you also have to come up with closing costs? No, actually you don't. Let me explain you something. Call Miller Lending and ask for a no closing cost loan, and they can remove that third, like, why do I have to do this portion of the payment. No closing costs, no hidden fees, no surcharges. If closing costs have been stopping you from buying or refinancing your home, don't let it stop you. Remove the obstacle. If you have any questions, give them a call. 919-447-3377. That's Miller Lending. 919-447-3377. Or visit them online at millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, and NMLS number 2502146. Now, let's grab some numbers game contestants. And yes, we have Joe Bros tickets. We have the Jonas Brothers, a pair of tickets to see the Jonas Brothers at the Lenovo Center on October 1st. If you want the tickets, you got to call in now. 919-860-5326, and you have to win. Calling in's just half the battle. 919-860-5326. Call in now. Play the numbers game. Maybe see the Jonas Brothers. Numbers game next.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Shador is somebody that showed you some signs last year and that people are excited about. And yet you're bringing the past with Deshaun Watson back into the fold here. The only thing I can think is that they're thinking, let's just throw him out there. We're already paying him and try to lose as many games as possible in order to make sure that we secure the best possible draft position that we can.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
A lot has changed since 1915. The way the Baker family treats people hasn't. They've roofed the Carolinas for over 100 years. The motto puts it plainly: we shall do good work, at a profit if we can, at a loss if we must, but always good work. Trust the team that's kept that promise for generations. Baker Home Exteriors. Always good work. Visit BakerHomeExteriors.com.
Is your heating and air system ready for the warmer weather? Call Newcomb & Company to ensure your system is running at peak performance. As a Comfort Contract customer, you'll get priority service and a 15% discount on all HVAC and plumbing service calls and repairs. Newcomb & Company, your Carrier factory authorized dealer, has proudly served our community for more than 70 years, delivering reliable comfort and peace of mind. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company, your comfort is our business.
This is what breaking news on WRAL sounds like.
Sky 5 captured the moments a high-speed chase ended in a crash.
From the moments that matter.
Let's take a look at those live pictures right now from Sky 5, and you can see
when seconds count.
Authorities say they are very concerned for the safety of the public. And
when your safety is the priority.
It's still an active scene. Take a look behind
and
me.
We begin at 6 with that breaking news. Hello and thanks for joining us. I'm Gerald Owens.
Watch WRAL News. Breaking news coverage you can count on.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. Prize for today, Jonas Brothers tickets at the Lenovo Center on October 1st. A pair of tickets will be going to our winner. Our winner will be either Tyler in Durham or David in Willow Springs. Now, the irony is, yesterday, our question was, what's the best boy band of all time? I didn't realize we were going to start such a debate. There was quite a bit of reaction to it. But Dennis had to choose between either NSYNC or Backstreet as his favorite band.
That's right.
I thought you were going to be the one drawing arrows. Turns out, I somehow got on the wrong side of some Jonas Brothers fans.
Oh, really?
Because their argument is they're not a boy band because they have instruments. One of them plays the guitar. And I guess boy bands are just boys that dance and sing.
Oh, okay. So Hanson's not a boy band.
According to this subsection of Jonas Brothers fans that got mad at me. So I thought it was just a band of all boys became a boy band. They were like,
in that case, Rolling Stones.
That's what that was exactly their response. They hit me with the Rolling Stones, and I was like, good point, because they don't seem like a boy band. So either way, that's going to lead into the question we ask Tyler and David. We have to bring them on individually. We'll ask them the same question. Dennis will pick his favorite answer, and that person will get to go first. Tyler in Durham, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, our question for today is, you're starting a band with instruments. What instrument are you going to play and why? Assuming that, in this case, you can play instruments. If you can't, it's in our mind's imagination.
I always thought it'd be cool to play the drums. So I guess that's what I'd do.
All right, Tyler's playing the drums. Any follow-ups, Dennis?
No questions.
All right, we go to David in Willow Spring. David, can you hear me?
I can.
All right, you're starting a band that is not a boy band. That means you can have instruments, according to these people. What do you mean, you people? I mean Jonas Brothers fans. If you're starting a band, and this is in this hypothetical world, you can play whatever instrument you want. What instrument are you playing?
Gotta be the guitar.
All right. Dennis, any follow-ups?
And just because there's so many different guitars, and I like to try to add something to the other guitar players that maybe others don't. So kind of have my own thing.
All right, there you go, David, with the explanation. Max, goodness. Dennis.
Excuse you.
You guys have been going back and forth a lot.
Have we?
Yeah. I called him Dennis, if that makes you feel any better. Drums
should make him feel better.
Drums or guitar? Which one are you rolling with if you're starting a band?
Let's see. I actually did percussion in middle school.
All right.
So
that's similar to starting a rock band.
It kind of is, actually. I did percussion in middle school band. I'll probably lean towards drums in this one. I mean, guitar. Yeah. I actually probably would go piano.
Ooh, on the keyboard?
Yeah,
or
on the keyboards.
Okay.
Yeah, like piano on the keyboards, a little bit of that.
All right. I am extremely unmusical, whatever the opposite of musical is. Love music, tone deaf. So pretty much anything I would
get you a tambourine.
Yeah, I was going to say, I can tambourine, the triangle. You want to throw me a wood cowbell? Come on, Gene. All right, so Tyler gets to go first. David, don't worry, you'll have your chance. Just have to sit on hold for a minute or two. Tyler, are you ready to pick a category?
Yes.
All right, the categories are NFL players that were teammates of Shane Graham at some point or another, Major League Baseball players that are switch hitters, NBA players that have a Z in their name, as in Zamibia, or NHL hurricanes throughout history. Zambia is the word I was looking for.
Let's do NBA.
All right. NBA players that have a Z, as in zebra, in their name somewhere. I'll give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. It'll be 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it. Do we have any questions before we get started?
No.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Naz Reid, Minnesota Timberwolves.
11.
Correct. Zach Edey, Memphis Grizzlies.
14.
Correct. Ivica Zubac, Indiana Pacers.
40.
Correct. Zion Williamson, New Orleans Pelicans.
1.
Correct. Matas Buzelis, Chicago Bulls.
Oh, shoot. 33.
Incorrect. Matas Buzelis, Chicago Bulls.
41.
Incorrect. Matas Buzelis, Chicago Bulls.
11.
Incorrect. Matas Buzelis, Chicago Bulls.
1.
Incorrect. Matas Buzelis, Chicago Bulls.
3.
Incorrect. Matas Buzelis, Chicago Bulls. Incorrect. Matas Buzelis, Chicago Bulls.
20.
I've heard that name said before. I cannot hear it in my brain right now. So I don't know how to pronounce it, but I think you knew who I was talking about. 14 is the number we were looking for.
Okay.
You did throw a 41 in there, so you were close, and a 1 and a 4 at different times, so you were kind of all over it, just never quite there. You got Reed, you got Edey, you got Zubac, you got Zion pretty quickly. It was an impressive performance. 4 out of 5. We'll see if it holds up. All right, go ahead and stay on the line.
All right.
He was very calm, just knocking them all down. He got to the last one, and you could tell he was like, nope, oh no, this one. I knew most of them. Let's go to David in Willow Spring. David, can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, the categories remaining for you to choose from are NFL players that at some point or another were teammates with Shane Graham, Major League Baseball switch hitters, or NHL hurricanes throughout history.
Let's go the NFL.
All right, I'll give you the team and the player. You give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. There'll be 30 seconds on the clock, one pass if you need it, and you do need all 5 for the win, but you have the entire time to do so. Any questions before we jump in?
Nope, let's go.
All right, let's go. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Steve Smith Sr., Carolina Panthers.
89.
Correct. Julio Jones, Atlanta Falcons.
11.
Correct. Aaron Hernandez, New England Patriots.
87.
Incorrect. Darren Sproles, New Orleans Saints.
24.
Incorrect. Aaron Hernandez, New England Patriots.
11.
Incorrect. Darren Sproles, New Orleans Saints.
Half.
Arian Foster, Houston Texans.
29.
Incorrect. Aaron Hernandez, New England Patriots. You gave it a good run. You got 2. Fought till the end. Unfortunately, not enough for the win, though, but hopefully you had some fun.
I got a quick question for Dennis, if I can.
Go on.
If yesterday, because I picked NSYNC, would he have picked New Kids on the Block instead?
Say that one more time.
For best boy band, would you have picked boys or not? New Kids on the Block if somebody had picked
New Kids on the Block.
Yeah, I probably would have taken New Kids on the Block.
Well, no offense, I hate all 3 of them. I'm doing this for my daughter, but I just thought I'd ask.
Hey, one more shot tomorrow.
Yeah, there's one more shot for Jonas Brothers tomorrow, everybody. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's why the lines are lighting up. Maybe every dad out there is trying to be dad of the year and get the Jonas Brothers tickets for somebody in their family.
There's a little bit of that. There's also like, hey, I'm getting this from my wife or my fiance. There's definitely a little bit of that as well.
Oh, Dennis, can you bring back up the Oh, no, it's right there. Never mind. You deleted the other ones. NFL, I haven't told everybody the numbers.
Yeah.
Aaron Hernandez, New England Patriots, 81 or 85. He wore both.
Mm-hmm.
Darren Sproles, 43 with the Saints. Arian Foster with the Houston Texans wore 37, 27, and 23. I think of him as 23. I'll never forget Darren Sproles, 43, because I used to always think, like, why is the littlest guy in the field have such, like, 43 is such a big number? It's, like, big and blocky. And he's obviously known for being diminutive and wildly good. So that one's going to be etched in my brain forever. All right, I think that's everything we got to do as far as the numbers game goes. Good job to everybody involved. There you go.
Congrats, Tyler.
Congratulations. Oh, Tyler's there, right? Tyler, congrats.
You like that? You like that?
Oh, a little Kirk Cousins action? Is that what we're getting here?
We're going with it.
Kirk Cousins not playing tonight, but Fernando Mendoza will for the Raiders. Hey, congratulations. You're going to see the Jonas Brothers.
Thanks. Yeah, this honestly doesn't sound like a great concert, but for the wife, I think she'll love it. So thank you.
There you go. Get to tell them you bought them and they were expensive. Stay on the line and Dennis will grab the info he needs to make sure you get your prize. Don't do that. Don't lie. Relationships are built on trust. And surprise tickets to the Jonas Brothers. Probably goes a long way. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That is the numbers game. When we come back, Panthers fans, I don't believe that you will believe who the NFL Top 100 put in the top 15. Surprising name next.
Move your sports day forward.
Carolina Panthers, it's not just keep pounding, but keep fighting. I love a good training camp fight. It's better to get that stuff out of the way now than during the regular season when it costs you 15 yards in a good situation. It also shows to the league you want to be a physical team, when a couple of years ago you were being questioned about it.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
It's bow time. We think a chicken sandwich this good should speak for itself. But when you're talking juicy, hand-breaded, and boldly seasoned chicken breasts, piled up with thick-cut pickles and creamy mayo all on a buttery toasted bun, well, we are happy to say it again and again and again. Bo's Chicken Sandwich, only at Bojangles. It's bow time.
It's bow time. Time to satisfy your Bojangles sandwich craving. With Bojangles sandwich lineup, you can choose a flavorful Cajun fried chicken filet sandwich, or a tender Cajun grilled chicken filet sandwich, or a tasty Bo's chicken sandwich. Make it a combo and add your choice of a side and Bojangles legendary iced tea. There's a Bojangles sandwich combo for everyone. Summer just doesn't get any better than that. What are you waiting for? It's bow time.
Adam Gold in studio with my friend Patrick Day from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. A lot of people have work to do on their homes. They need a roof. They want windows, siding. You guys do everything. But people are also, I'm not sure I can afford it. The Aluminum Company is a great place to go. Tell us why.
Well, tons of times I'll go out to people's houses and they're thinking about doing a bunch of home improvements at once. Siding, roofing, windows are a big package, right? And the first thing they think of is, well, I'm going to need to go get an equity line or a second mortgage. One of the things we have is tons of financing options where you don't even need to go to your bank. We can do that in-house for you and run payment options for you. And lots of times the financing that we offer is a better percentage rating than you can get from your bank, and you don't have to go through all that mess to get to it.
I like that. Also, is there 12 months, zero interest?
12 months, zero interest, zero payments for 12 months.
Zero payments and zero interest at the same time for 12 months.
That is correct.
That is a double header right there. Aluminum Company of North Carolina, online, aluminumcompany.com.
T-Mobile is launching something no other wireless network offers. Introducing Nothing. Pay nothing today and walk out of the store with a new phone.
What did he say?
Nothing.
You definitely said something about nothing.
Exactly. Go to T-Mobile, pay nothing up front, and leave with a new phone.
Wait, nothing rules.
She gets it.
Hey, thanks for nothing.
For the first time ever, switch to T-Mobile, pay nothing. No taxes, no fees, no money down. And walk out with a new phone. There are 250 reasons to choose T-Mobile, and now nothing is holding you back.
On eligible devices with qualifying credit plan and 36-month finance agreement.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. There are certain debates when you bring it up on air, like, buckle up, right? If I ever want to wander into, like, the LeBron-Jordan debate, if you ever want to dance around, like, is Bryce Young the future of the Panthers? Like, you're aware that it's going to be contentious in the comments. I did not think to put in that group who's the best boy band of all time. I thought we could have that one civilly, but it turns out some people have some really, really strong opinions on the subject. And now New Edition is being thrown into the mix, which I can tell you yesterday people brought New Edition into the mix as well.
That they did. People brought up Jodeci. as well.
Jodeci, see, I
does Boyz II Men fall into that category? Like, are they too like R&B?
I think my definition of boy bands, is more like gut feeling than I thought it was.
Yeah,
because like Jonas Brothers to me are a boy band, even though they have like instruments and things.
Mm-hmm.
Boyz II Men is not a boy band to me, even though they're 3 or 4, depending on which era you're listening
which
to.
iteration.
Boys around the same age as many other boy bands singing. They just aren't, because it's vibes. Like you have to be kind of like bubblegum pop-y. You have to be New Kids, NSYNC, Backstreet. I like New Edition probably is. My issue with New Edition, their peak was just a little quick, right? They don't, maybe not enough, but their peak was incredible. I don't know. I can't explain. It's one of those things where it's like, are they a boy band? I don't know. Ask me if they are, and I'll tell you. I can't give you like a rule to decide. It's just got to be vibes. But I don't think New Edition is the best. I don't know who is, but I don't think it's New Edition. With that being said, let's move on. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Do you know who the NFL players that voted for the NFL Top 100? Do you know who they voted as the 14th best player in the NFL? Top 15 in the entire league. Not at his position, not in his conference or his division, the entire league. Former Carolina Panther Brian Burns. Edge rusher for the Giants. Yeah. That's high. That, like, me just saying 14th probably made you go, really? But now I'm going to tell you some of the players that Brian Burns was voted above. Okay, so Brian Burns was the 14th best player according to the NFL Top 100. I'm going to give you just a smattering of names that are 15 or below, so ranked lower than him. Jamar Chase. Patrick Mahomes. Justin Jefferson. Amon-Ra St. Brown. Apparently they don't like wide receivers on this list.
Yeah, apparently not.
Max Crosby at the same position.
Okay.
Derek Stingley at a pretty important corner position.
Mm-hmm. Very good, too.
Very good. Christian Gonzalez, same thing. Aiden Hutchinson, same position. Quarterbacks like Joe Burrow. Saquon Barkley's down there. Dennis, TJ Watt is, let me do some math here. He's number 41. So there's, a lot of space between TJ Watt and Brian Burns.
A little bit of a drop off there.
Chris Jones, Garrett Bowles, Penei Sewell, like on and on. This is there's 2 lessons here. It's probably why the NFL Top 100 isn't a judge of who's actually the best. It's a judge of like what the buzz of players is saying, like just who's somebody that they like or plays in a flashy, I don't know. It's not necessarily just skill. But 2, it is how quickly the league changes on how good or bad a player is. Okay? Because there are names on this list pretty darn high. Do you know who number 21 is? Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold was moved on from by a whole bunch of franchises within the last 5 years, right? Last year, the Minnesota Vikings decided, no, thanks. We'll go with J.J. McCarthy over you. The Brian Burns experience was back-to-back years, he was in the top 100 for the Carolina Panthers, peaking at number 43. Last year, he was not in the top 100. So he went from top 100 to off the top 100 to 20-something spots better than he had ever been before. It is a cliche to say the NFL is a what have you done for me lately league, but the NFL is unbelievably a what have you done for me lately league. I'm sure if you go back and look at Patrick Mahomes over the last, 5, 6, 7 years, he probably hasn't been below like 4 on that list. He had 1 year where he wasn't playing for the Super Bowl or playing in the AFC Championship game and got hurt, and he fell below Brian Burns. So it's why I think a lot of times fan opinions and people that evaluate talent for a living's opinions, meaning GMs and scouts and everything, why there's sometimes big deltas, big gaps between them is because fans operate on emotion. A lot of the way players will be, where it's like, I just saw this guy play well. You need to give him a giant contract. I just watched him. Meanwhile, GMs are much more thinking of the big picture. They're thinking of, all right, he had a good or a bad year. Is there a reason to explain it? Was there something that changed in his situation? Was there an injury that he was dealing with? And is that likely to be the new normal, or is he more likely to go back to what he had put on tape for a bunch of years? Because, listen, I'm not here to say Brian Burns isn't a top 100 player. He had 16.5 sacks last year, a bunch of tackles, ton of quarterback hits. He is a good player. I think we might have seen the best version of Brian Burns last year and not the new normal for Brian Burns. Meanwhile, Patrick Mahomes, I don't think he was the fifth best player in the NFL last year. I think he was below that. But I also don't think last year was the new normal for Patrick Mahomes. And the same could be true for a bunch of these guys, right? Like, you deal with an injury, you have a severe change of supporting cast, and you gotta take a while to regroup. That's one thing. Does that make you significantly worse for the rest of your career? I think a GM would tell you no. Right? A GM might tell you that's an opportunity to buy low on a player. A fan, he stinks. Get rid of him. And by the way, I'm not acting like I'm on some kind of high horse here. I fall for it. I've traded some players in fantasy leagues when they've had a down year, and I've been like, I got to get them off my team. Turns out they were just bad for that 1 year, and I regretted it a bunch. So there's I think, a better way to look at the NFL Top 100. And if I were better at coding, I would do it. But I think a better way to find a true evaluation of the NFL Top 100 is to do like some kind of an average of the last 5 years with a little bit more weighted towards the recent years, but where they're all included. Because then the outliers where it's like so-and-so had a great year and they had a random, top 15 year, but that's not really them, gets washed away. The recency bias gets washed away, and you instead find the people that do it year in and year out pretty darn well. Because I can't find a world where if we drafted players, or even if you just set up hey, we're going to rank get the GMs to put the best players in order, anybody is taking Brian Burns over a bunch of the names that I mentioned are well below him. Like Jamar Chase being 16th. I don't think there are, conservatively 10 players in the NFL better than Jamar Chase, let alone 15. There might not be 5 players in the NFL better than Jamar Chase. He's 16th.
I always look like a guy like Jeffrey Simmons was down in the 90s. Plays for the defensive tackle for the Tennessee Titans. Blows my mind.
Not joking at all. If you got everybody's available contracts are gone, we're drafting players for this year, Jeffrey Simmons might go before Brian Burns.
Yeah.
That's number 90-something over number 14.
I mean, Lamar Jackson was, 60-something? 67?
Lamar Jackson 60-something.
Yeah.
Because he was hurt a bunch.
I don't know. I think we have to remind ourselves that even NFL players are still caught up in fantasy stats and all that kind of stuff because they grew up with fantasy football
and the emotion of it and the recency bias of it. I would love to see how much better the rankings are for a player using just votes of people that they had their best game against. That guy smoked me. He's number 2, right? Because he gave me $130. He's number 2 behind only Josh Allen. Meanwhile, he got hurt in the first quarter against us. He's unranked. It's very recency bias. But still, Brian Burns, number 14. Goodness. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. UNC basketball had their non-conference schedule fully revealed today. So go ahead and wait for us to break it down in overdrive. And NFL preseason football, Vegas, Houston, 7:30 pregame, 8 o'clock start right here on 99.9. Enjoy the game. Enjoy Overdrive. We'll see you tomorrow. Enjoy New Edition. See ya.
Excuse me, you think you could spare a square?
Sorry, what?
A square on your smartphone.
Oh, yeah, for the 99.9 The Fan app.
Exactly. Listen to your favorite hosts, teams, and live sports action.
The Carolina Hurricanes are the best team in the NHL. They won the 2026 Stanley Cup.
And every podcast episode at your fingertips, anytime, anywhere.
Available for Apple iPhone and Android phones. Download the 99.9 The Fan app today.
Hey, this is Luke with Newcomb & Company. We're a residential, commercial, plumbing, HVAC company who's been serving the community for over 70 years. Honesty is the biggest policy around here. You know, we take pride in everything we do, anything we touch. We're not one of those companies that come and throw it in and then you can't get a hold of them again. We're there with you hand in hand. Here at Newcomb & Company, what stands apart from other companies is we actually do more than just AC and heat pumps. We do boilers, geothermals, furnaces, radiant floor, anything that is odds and ends that nobody else can touch is what we thrive on. At Newcomb & Company, we do same-day service. That's also another thing that helps us stand apart from other places is we do same-day service because we have enough professionals to get out to these houses to solve what the problems are. And we're on 24/7 on emergency basis, weekends, nights, holidays, you name it, we're there.
Newcomb & Company, your Carrier factory authorized dealer. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company, your comfort is our business.
In the military, the mission was clear. You knew what to do. Now, the mission has changed. Stepping into civilian life isn't about finding a job. It's finding your purpose.
I wanted a career that would leverage the skills and discipline I gained in the military. IT just felt right.
My Computer Career offers class schedules that fit into your life and skills in high demand. Put your VA benefits to work. Visit mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to jumpstart your IT career today. An elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. John always listens to his truck. So when his brakes start talking, he goes to AutoZone, where a helpful AutoZoner gets him the right parts. If John has time to put them in, he borrows a kit with Loan-A-Tool. And if he doesn't, he gets a free shop referral. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Deposit required for Loan-A-Tool. Restrictions apply.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, Injury Lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
Get in the hole!
That's ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Eagle Leasing Storage Studio. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs, 99.9.